The arm of Rosedale is located to the north and west of Neepawa, stretching west to Franklin and north to Kelwood. The total land area is 865 square kilometers, divided into 6 wards, each with its own member of council. This month, the arm of Rosedale restated their intent to implement a system to budget for and assess community donation requests, rather than trying to handle them individually at each monthly meeting. This could potentially also include guaranteed base funding for community centers or recreation facilities, and will also implement a reporting system to ensure that funds are being spent as intended. They're looking to start in the 2025 budget year to give the CAO and council time to build the system. A delegation to propose a new recreation facility in Neepawa on a 15 to 20-year timeline visited council to outline their hopes for the facility and where it potentially could go. Right now, they are looking to ensure that everyone who has a stake in the new facility, including municipal councils adjacent to Neepawa, is at the table at the planning stages. Council dealt with a couple of water bill issues and additionally is undergoing a process to study water utility rates to ensure they are adequate. Any increase to rates must be approved by the Public Utilities Board. The last rate study was done in 2019. For some time, Council has also been seeking out clay to be used to line a new landfill. Tests that have been done on municipal property have not been successful. Instead, Council will put out a tender for the volume of clay that it requires and would be happy to purchase from a local source, provided they have had their own testing done and it meets the requirements. They also note that there is a market for clay outside the municipality as well, which might incentivize some local residents to have theirs tested. Council also welcomed a delegation from Crown Lands and Conservation for an in-camera discussion. Following is the February meeting of the arm of Rosedale Council in its entirety.
Alrighty, be it resolved that the regular council meeting means at 10:01, 10:02. a.m. with Reed Carl Slizik as chairman. Do I have a mover? Carl Turpin. Robert Scott, second. All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the regular council meeting agenda be of February 9th, 2024 be approved as presented. Do I have a mover? Tederick. Ernie Scher, second. All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting held January 12, 2024 be adopted into the curriculum. Do I have a mover? Sure. Seconder? All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the council agrees to adopt the January 2024 financial statement. Do I have a move? Dave? Second or Ernie Scher. All in favor? Okay. resolved that council approves the accounts for the month and the amounts as January 2024 general, excuse me, $579,933.31. Water, $1,104.38. Do I have a number? Seconder? All in favor? Carry the motion.
Yeah. So, yeah. Here's a check we got to get on.
And then what's next on the agenda? Is that at 10:15? I didn't print out the agenda. I just saw it on your screen. Maybe this one will come. Yeah, so we'll just go on to the, because we have to wait till 10:15, just in case people want to show up.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so just go to the next thing on the agenda, correspondence, yeah. So Colonial Hall is back on,
Oh,
because it was
correspondence.
tabled.
Okay.
Yeah, it was tabled last
So we'll move
meeting.
to Colonial Hall Committee request for a donation.
So last month it was tabled. And I don't think there was any, I know Jeff wants a system set up to bring in donations and what have you, but I think that was the only action item.
They're putting in that cabinet or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or they want to-
Entry.
Yeah.
Pantry.
Yeah.
And I think they're just looking for a donation.
The donation, they give us a copy of what they had quoted, but they didn't specify, I think they told them not to wish for us to donate, so.
Yeah, we, yeah.
I guess moving forward, I don't know, maybe this will open up a can of worms, but I think we've got a level playing field between most community centers, so everybody gets the same amount. In case, somebody's got a $5,000 project, somebody's got a $2,000 project. One community center's getting 5,000, the other's getting 2. Do we move forward and level the playing field, I guess? Is the only question I have. I don't know.
I'm wondering if they should have a tax deal, so much a household, so much a fourth section, so that there's a.
Like a levy, yeah.
A levy.
Yeah, you mentioned that before.
I don't know if they would want that or not, but I think that's more fair than,
Yeah.
Where would you draw the circle around Livonia? Like,
the old schools, like I know how Eaton is the old school district. Most of them work too, but there is a little bit, I think, in Ward 4.
and the Kelly's go so far south to a road, and then Riding Mountain takes over after that on their level.
Their case could be that.
And then areas are levy too, you go so many.
Yeah, miles each way,
Yeah. So I think that's different than this. This is going to be dealt with today, I guess. We got to figure out a certain dollar figure and the VLT and move forward.
Because I normally like to argue about stuff just for opposing viewpoint, but
Sure.
like I like the idea of rationalizing everything. Like there was this quick discussion there about who's paying for the roof of the Kelvin Hall, because like the easiest thing for Polonia to do now is to just turn the hall over to the RM, and then the RM, by precedent, maintains everything and purchases all this stuff, right? So then they lose control in a way. But it doesn't seem to be in the real world. It seems like you get to have someone else pay the bills regionally and then still maintain local control. But I agree. We should rationalize it, equalize it, and get it.
Well, some community centers are being more, like say, you get the Riding Mountain Hall or the Flowing Hall being utilized more, where maybe the Mountain Road one has one function a year. So where do you draw the line on that one too? You can't all of a sudden say we use for a figure, I'll say $500 just for a number, just as easy math. Well, Mountain Road Hall should get $500 because they got one function a year, where we'll say Polonia has 10 functions a year, so.
Yeah, exactly, that's it.
So that's the other side of it you gotta look at too, if you wanna call it. Or the Eaton Hall, there's a lot going on at the Eaton Hall.
That's right.
Any-
Mountain Road, I know I've given very little over the years because really there's nothing happening there. Like, for what?
And it goes back to the activity of the committee,
Exactly.
committee itself, right? That's why the
Exactly.
committee stays in place, because they do that
Stuff going on.
fundraising stuff of their own.
Yeah.
So it is budget time, so maybe we should get a list of all the halls that we own and all the halls that we don't own, and then we can figure out what we want to give to all the halls
Yeah.
within.
Well, they would know going forward, the committee itself would know that if, say, Rosedale's $500,
Yeah.
they could figure out their, in this situation, the pantry or the door on it or whatever, and going forward, they would know that was gonna be theirs to utilize.
Because I noticed the one thing that the RS all complain about is never knowing what their budget will be and wanting guaranteed base funding that they can spend on their own discretion. And it seems if it's good for the RM, why wouldn't it be good for a community hall?
Right.
We're getting $5,000 this year, we're getting 500 this year.
Yeah,
Or we're guaranteed that we're gonna get this much, let's budget.
right, yeah. Or build on it, if you're gonna do a fundraiser, you know what you're building, what your starting number is.
Okay, I'll get that list together, and then which ones we own, and then probably how much we're paying for those ones that we own as well, so we're paying the hydro bill and so on and so forth for them. And then you guys can better decide,
Yeah.
I guess, what you want to provide, because we're already providing some
Services, yeah.
funds, right, to some of them?
I guess the other thing side of it, like Butte Paints Society also, you'll put funding request in, say you want to redo the flooring in a hall or something. So you actually gotta get so many quotes and then the project will be done and the money's allocated. So they can say, hey, we're gonna do these certain projects, do they actually do them at the other end of it? And they probably do, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they don't.
Right.
You know, we gotta clarify, we're gonna donate money as a project being done.
Follow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where that town of Neepawa thing is, so that if they don't put that report in, they don't get funding again. Because it seems like their system is pretty elegant.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we have the resources to be working. I don't want to have to do a check, I just want to pull a report and say, yeah, you submitted good. You're on the list again
Oh,
for next.
yeah, you're not auditing,
Yeah.
you're receiving.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pull that list together, that's a good to do. And then if you guys want a table or you want to donate, it's whatever you like.
Well, I think in this case, I think we gotta, that's gonna be a bigger project, I think we have to donate here and move forward, or unless that's just my thinking.
Yeah, change the whole system, it's gonna take us a minute.
Yeah, it's gonna take months not to do this here project they wanna get going, so is it dire? No, maybe not, but on the other hand, this is the second month it's been on the table too, so.
So what would you like us to do, Jeff?
What I like is to do.
Well, Carl, what do you think, I guess?
You got a minute?
Yeah.
1 minute.
Go.
I think that we have to look at the fact that we spent 10 minutes or 20 minutes a meeting as opposed to half an hour at one meeting, and that we can't do this anymore. And I understand that this is the second time it's on, like we tabled it to decide today, but like, when do you draw the line? When do you just say no? It goes into the new system.
So do we want to shoot for January 2025 to shoot for the new system? Because we're already in 2024 budget year, we're already in
Exactly.
February. So what do we want to do moving forward? What do you guys think?
I think that's, yeah,
Gives us time to build it.
Gives us time to build it.
Gives us time.
yeah.
And then maybe we could send out notices,
Mhm.
November,
Yeah.
December, hey, get your information forwarded to us, and then we can do it Jan, Feb, because it's
Yeah.
gonna be part of the budget, it's gonna have to go into the budget, right?
Right.
So if we can do it earlier in the year
Has to,
rather
yeah.
than later.
So the last donation we made was to the Burning Community Center, remember, right? We
I think so, yeah.
$1,800 then.
Yeah.
So is that something we want to carry forward, or we want to, what is everybody's thoughts, I guess?
Well, I think this committee's got that plan in place, so I think if we can help them a little bit, let's help them.
Yeah.
And then we'll make the new model when we.
And we'll make the new model for 2025 and
What's
go
that?
by that. And then we'll make the model for 2025 and
Okay.
we'll stand by that. And this way we can budget more for what we need.
Okay.
Because I know we sit here a lot and give this out, give that out, give this out, give that out. We have no idea after what it's all gone out.
Well, we're tracking it, so we
Yeah.
still have.
Well,
the
tracking it, but I
funds
mean,
available for
It'd be
you
nice
to-
if we could sit down
I
and just
agree.
go through it hall by hall by hall, like Jeff said, whatever your donation is, and proceed from there. So what do you guys think for a figure?
Well, this project was $2,700, and then I got the taxes on top.
Yeah, let's say the We'll
So
have
we're
the
taking-
whole amount either, no, really.
So we're taking out our VLT money?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
What do you think, Pete? What are you thinking?
Well, I was 4, I was gonna give it 1,000, but mine, and then you guys can chip in the rest or whatever if you want.
I just have a question. Can we wait to resolve this after the public
Oh,
meeting?
sure, okay.
Just because it
Well, yeah.
messes all our minutes up. I have to move everything
Sure.
around just for this one resolution, and that's gonna take like
Keep
half an hour.
us like that if you can.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, now we move.
Just make it easier for Loveland.
Be it resolved that we do now adjourn our regular meeting of the council at 10:15 a.m. to hold a public hearing regarding variation and conditional use of applications. Do I have a mover? Robert, Scott, Earl, Burton, seconds. All in favor? Carry. Alrighty, thank you, gentlemen.
Good to go.
Good to go, Scott.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
So we got an application for a variation conditional use. This will be the first one for the morning. The application number is VCU 05-2023R. And the current owners and applicants of this application is Kevin and Laura Cathcart. The variation requested is to increase the maximum site area from the required 10 acres to the proposed 20.29 acres within the AG agricultural limited 1 zone. And the conditional use requested is to allow for the location of a non-farm dwelling within the AG1, the agricultural general zone. The variation is required due to it's an increase from the size within our development plan, which is the maximum of 10 acres. And the conditional use within the zoning requires that non-farm dwelling sites be have a requirement of the conditional use to allow councils to impose any conditions that they deem may suit the area. And the reason why we would be in support of it is to satisfy the subdivision requirements to sever a 20.29 acre parcel from the noted property. The current area affected is southwest of 91515 West, 87129 and 87141, Road 85 North. Our office has not received any comments, concerns, complaints, anything towards this one. It's a pretty standard subdivision application, so didn't really, shouldn't say that. There's the odd one that may come in that may get it, but it's been pretty standard so far, so.
Any questions?
So there was no comments received at all? It was
No.
just
Yeah.
how long does this take, the whole process?
For
From
a long time. About $6,000 worth, so.
Oh, wow.
For a standard subdivision, depending on the requirements, and
Sewage machine.
from regional planning, it can take 6 months to a year.
Oh, is that on camera?
Yeah. Is there a way to make it smoother and more streamlined, faster, without actually breaking the
Not,
system?
not really, no. Like, there's requirements in the Planning Act that, depending on what the subdivision is, there's a provincial review that needs to be done prior to the council's approval for it. And then there's various other steps that need to be done. Depending on what provincial review comes up with, then the owners or the applicants are required to complete various different conditions. So that also can be bared onto the owner. So depending on how they expedite it, can determine how long it can take.
And because it just seems like, is there anything that we can do from our end to make it go faster, like our slice of it?
Not really, no.
Within the existing rules or framework?
Yeah, like within the existing rules, we've actually, like our office, as soon as we get the application, we're very diligent to have it out to the next party for their process. Other than that, it's been pretty streamlined.
I'm not a year yet, though. Like, it hasn't been a year.
No.
Another year of time completed.
Yeah.
it's not this end, it's, you know, what time goes through hydro, MTS, and all the,
Yeah.
you guys, it takes time for everybody to process it.
We usually try to push it pretty soon, like when Scott contacts, we're at the next meeting,
Yeah.
we're making the resolution, we're sending it. It's the request for subdivision needs a resolution, we send it back, then the conditional use also needs a resolution to be sent back.
Yeah.
So that's sometimes the lag in time, I think,
Yeah. Anything short of having to have a council every 2 weeks or something like that, but
Yeah.
That'd be pretty still the thing that could happen, a special meeting. or something.
unless you decide to do a special meeting for it.
Okay.
But if somebody comes in right after our meeting, well, then they gotta wait a month
Yeah.
before it comes to the meeting
Yeah.
again, so.
But generally, there's stuff that the applicant can be doing.
Yeah.
They could be applying to the various departments that may need easements or different items that need to be done. So when it comes to time for the public hearing, majority of the items are already covered. So once we've done this and we've submitted away to regional planning, then it shouldn't be long after that before they start receiving their final approvals.
And then you guys have to notify folks as well, right? There's a notification period
Yes.
for public hearings? so
Yeah,
that
there
that's
needs to be,
something-
a minimum of a 14-day notice submitted to the 100 meters around the affected property. The notice will be sent to them, and then it's also posted within municipal office or the town. At least prior 14 days.
All right.
We'll do that.
So we have another public hearing at 10:30, so we'll have to wait for those.
We could do it now if wanted, but we couldn't close the public hearing till after 10:30.
Okay, and then because we're not gonna resolve anyways till we go back to the regular
Yeah.
council.
Or after our meeting, so.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Kevin.
Done?
We're done.
Should.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Take care, Kevin.
Somebody want to tell Robert he can come back to his.
Yeah, let him come back.
Alright, see you later. Have a good one. Okay, Brady's Farms Limited.
This application number is VCU 06-2023R, and the current owners of the property are Brace Farm Limited, and the applicant is Lucy Kinnear of Christensen TDS. The variation order requested is to reduce the minimum setback for Quonset to the east property boundary from the required 125 feet to the proposed 103 feet within the AG agricultural general zone, and the conditional use requested is to allow for the location of a non-farm dwelling within the AG agricultural general zone. The current area affected is the 91038 PTH 5 southwest of 91615, and the reason why we'd be in support of it is to satisfy the subdivision requirements to sever a 3.7 acre parcel from the noted property. And our office has not received any comments, concerns, complaints towards this application.
Okay.
So if somebody wanted to speak out against this, they have till 10:30 to arrive, right? That's-
10:30, they have to be here by 10:30.
Yeah.
I think the reason that that was done, I don't know if the rest of you are familiar with what happened there, but it was, years ago, Cooks took a subdivision off that quarter, and the acreage will be on there. Braze purchased that whole farm, and they consolidated the subdivision into the farm, and then they took off the piece that there used to be farmland included with the original subdivision because of the owner was a farmer. So now they've changed the well system, and there's more bush now goes with. I think it's a good fit. And them being short of space, this Department of Highways put that barn and that house there years ago. When the highway was changed, that used to be further east, so that wasn't their choosing of where it's put. So I don't see where it infringes on anything that would affect the municipality.
You're saying that highways changed the road, or highways?
When they put that number 5 highway in, that house, yard site was in the road of the highway. So they moved the highway or the house to the west
Okay.
and moved the barn over there. That Quonset is the loft off the old barn. They brought it down, put it on a foundation. So I think it's a good fit. Now the well doesn't sit on other people's property, and that was the problem before. So they put the well in, did the right thing, and retrenched it. I don't know what happened. I didn't ask Danny about that part, but I know because I saw them digging there, put in a new line. So I think it stands alone on its own, and now it's been resold, and somebody's living there, but I have not met them.
So going from 125 feet to 103 feet is because of some history from major projects and not
Yeah.
really a standard that
Yeah.
we need to worry about. Okay.
No, yeah.
Hurry up and wait.
That was the only public hearings we had, right?
Yeah, as far as I know. Yeah. Unless there's any other ones that I'm not aware of.
No, this is-
No, we let you know.
I just have to write this down. But I guess what does that work? Tom.
We took the cans.
Yeah.
My uncle lives there.
Last night, the way with the mud feeder. It's not working the way it's supposed to. This will just take it from me. She was just, I don't know. But I just see it here, he's still, it works. I wrote it down for her.
Yeah.
Old tech.
that we do now adjourn the public hearing at 10:30. A.M. To reconvene in our regular meeting, do I have a mover? Sure.
Have a good day. Have a good
Yeah,
weekend,
see you,
everyone.
Scott. Take care.
Yeah.
Seconder?
I'll second.
Okay, so, all in favor? Carried. Okay.
These are the resolutions for
Right.
conditional use and the variations.
So, I guess we'll have to ask Robert to leave the room
Yeah.
for
So
the resolution for
Yeah.
Kevin and Morris.
Yep.
I think you could have stayed, Robert, during the public.
Yeah, that's
Because we're
what I
not
was
in
just
council,
Oh.
but not during the resolution.
Oh, okay.
You know next time you're around.
Whereas public hearing was held on Friday, February 9th, 2024, to hear representation for the, against the proposal variation order and, or against, sorry, wasn't really, conditional use requested by Kevin and Lori Cathcart of Southwest-09-15-15 West and 87129 and 87141 Road 85 North. Therefore be it resolved that council, the RM approves the variation order to increase the maximum size from the regular 10 acres to the proposed 20.29 acres of good Ag L1 agricultural limited 1 zone. Therefore, further be it resolved that the council approves the conditional use registered to allow the location of a non-farm dwelling within the Ag L1 agricultural limited zone 1. Do I have a mover? Sure. Seconder on close and check. All in favor? Carried. All right, Robert, come back.
The O-rings come down with the building. Is that loader? O-rings.
Yeah.
They do come with it? Really?
Package.
Really? No, really? So it's bonus?
Yeah. It's a $6 order.
Yeah. O-rings is the separate.
Whereas the public hearing was held on Friday, February 9th, 2024, to hear representation for or against provisional variation order and conditional use requested by the Braves Farm Limited Southwest-09-16-15 West and 9108 PTH5. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the RM of Rosedale approves the variation order to reduce the minimum setback for the Quonset to the east property boundary from the required 125 feet to the proposed 103 feet within the agricultural general zone. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council approves the condition and use the request to allow for the local and non-farm dwelling within the agricultural general zone. Do I have a mover? Robert Scott. Seconder, Earl Burton. All in favor? Carried. Now, Lonia. What do you guys figure?
So Ron said,
It's a whole corner. Yeah. Right.
so then rest of us want to do 300, 400 piece? If we did 400, that would cover the whole project, that'd be 3,000. If we do 400 piece, I don't know, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
So you're saying pay for the whole thing?
Let's see it.
Well, we're 3,200, we're at 3.
But versus enough. I mean, it's whatever we get.
Yeah. Because I would like to conserve, if we're gonna do it piecemeal, I would like to conserve funds for Spring Hill Community Hall because it's a wreck and needs either to be torn down or fixed up. So, and I'm running out of discretionary funds in that thing.
Yeah.
So I would like to not put any money in unless there's a new system put in, which is gonna make me all sorts of friends. Because I do go for the fall supper float.
I'd be very careful.
I know.
Why don't I donate doing like, I try to donate to everyone's projects because I really don't have a lot of projects in mind, so I try to aim to give everybody,
Yeah.
Yeah,
if I had something in mind I could aim for. Like, what do I got in mind? I got the Yellowhead Arena, which is sitting in Neepawa, so.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's the closest thing to me, so I try to give to everybody else.
That's your area.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's just my area thing. So.
Exactly.
well, but we are all in the RM roses too.
Yeah, yeah.
We're just not pulling everything for everybody.
Yeah,
No,
right, yeah.
no, I agree with that. That's why I say I try to put it with everybody's projects.
So what do you guys figure?
Well, I mean, if we did that road, it makes them
We're at
4 hours shorter.
You don't have to pay the whole thing because
No.
let them do some work
Yeah.
to
Exactly.
So if we
generate a bit of a.
So Ron
Cut that in half then?
plus, so then Ron plus 1,000 and 4 of us do the 400, that's 2,600.
We can give them 100 even each. Maybe not give
We
them.
cut that to 4.5, make it 2 each, that's 8 more, that's 18.
1,800.
And that's the same as Bernie then.
Yeah, that's exactly, that wasn't what I was aiming for, Richard. Shazam!
So in which case I'll add my 2 then in there, because that seems like a much more reasonable.
Okay, let's do that, I'm okay with that.
Like I said, I'd like to save money like for Jeff if he wants to do something at the Spring Hill Hall.
Nice
I'd
idea.
put something in
Yeah, well, it's
there.
good.
Places won't
So
work.
1,800?
I think, no, we hit 2 here, we hit 2 if Jeff puts his 2 in.
So 2,000.
Yeah.
Or do
So
150 each then.
Ward 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 are doing 200, and
Yeah.
Ward 1 is, or sorry, Ward 4 is doing 1,000?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's 2 right.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing.
All that
Just a little
indication.
bit of work.
That was a pretty good math there.
That means they're gonna have a plumbing center. Work on it.
They were asking for something else too, aren't they? Like, what are they looking at? Future, something about.
Oh, some appliances, right, to go into that cover.
No, but I thought it was furniture or something. But they did that.
Well, they did the first.
Well, I thought this was the second request.
Our kitchen appliance equipment, stove and everything. I think it just says for them to hold and lock up so it doesn't get stolen.
This is, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's look at all their stuff in.
that's what they said here for this cabinet. All right, whereas correspondence has been received from the Bologna Hall Committee to request assistance with the funding on the purchase of the proposed pantry cabinet. Be it resolved that the RM of Rosedale will donate to the Bologna Hall Committee the amount of $2,000 from the BLT funds, Ward 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, $200 each, and Ward 4, $1,000. Do I have a mover?
I'll move it.
Dave Clara, second extra. Ron Constanship. All in favor? Carried. Okay, now,
Barns, the old on the, they're wedged in there.
so let's not
So
tell
we've
that,
been getting
right?
all sweet, or,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're in
It's yellow. So we still have time.
For
We'll keep on
to
going.
get them out, which I showed you guys now.
Municipal
It's
issue
where they-
registration.
I just wanted to know if anybody from the council wanted to attend.
You season it, or season spinning it over?
No, not the shank. Seed trading.
So the Manitoba Weeds Supervisors Association is holding a seminar in Carberry. Anyone interested in going?
I would like to go because I don't know anything about it, but do they want people to contribute, like, the information? Because I would have nothing that I could add to the meeting. I would just
I
sit there
think
and
they're just gonna talk about what their new permits are.
I think probably sending the new public work foreman would be more valuable
Yeah.
than sending a
Yeah.
counselor, but I just
That's-
wanted to make sure none of you were wanting to go and let you know that we had received the correspondence.
Because this is a more technical thing, right? This is like a,
I think, and we do hire a company to come and spray our noxious weeds in the summer.
That's
For the 100.
what we've used for the last, I'm not sure how many years, quite a few years. We've hired
Yeah.
Arnold Louise, I believe, is it? Am I right or not?
I can't remember.
I can't
I
remember.
just
Yeah, we know exactly that
emailed the
same guy all
guy.
the time.
The same
Yeah.
fellow, yeah.
Yeah, he comes in and does all ours at once.
Because we have no equipment to do this and to
We
get
tried,
involved.
remember, we tried to do it, and then it was just, because Glenn was certified, remember?
Yeah, you need a certificate.
We tried, and then it was just too much, and we just
I
let
think
the
it's
guy.
easier just,
Yeah.
I know maybe it's the chicken way out, but it seems to be.
But you still gotta maintain, you gotta maintain equipment and stuff to make that all work, too, and you gotta know what you're doing with it.
I know.
We still gotta have,
Would it be beneficial to do, still send a public work form and just so he's informed, so.
So he
going forward,
understands.
I would say so.
even though we're not doing the work, just that he has information, so.
But I think you need to run
If
it.
guy comes along, he's,
We wanna
he's being
send-
beneficial. Yeah.
We will
It's
set
just so when
something.
he's out, he knows where the weed is, and
Yeah.
you just see it fresh away, like that.
Yeah, that's why I look at
I
it.
know it's a good idea.
building capacity as opposed to relying too much on others.
Yeah.
He'll be able to identify it then.
That's it,
See,
Yeah.
yeah.
and
Because I
then we
know we
can
have-
tell us that other spots or whatever, there
Yeah.
are more spots.
It's not like it's a big dollar amount. you
No.
know, So I agree, I like that idea.
Yeah.
Are they just doing like an ATV sprayer when they come? Or
Like they have truck, I didn't say a truck like they with a
I haven't
one or
never
some
seen
sort of
one.
wing one or something. So I'm not, I've never seen it, but I'm assuming. Because we got, ours is rigged up with a, on the old truck at one time, right? Just with the side arms hanging off there,
What
whatever.
about that leafy spurt?
That purple flower.
Whereas correspondence received from the Manitoba Weed Supervisor Association, be it resolved that the Council of the RM of Rosedale does approves attendance to the seminar by the foreman of the Manitoba Weed Supervisors Association. Be it resolved that the Council of the RM of Rosedale does approves attendance to the seminar by the foreman of the Manitoba Weed Supervisors Association. Be it resolved that the Council of the RM of Rosedale does approves attendance to the seminar by the foreman of the Manitoba Weed Supervisors Association. Be it resolved that the Council of the RM of Rosedale does approves attendance to the seminar by the foreman of the Manitoba Weed Supervisors Association. Be it resolved that the Council of the RM of Rosedale does approves attendance to the seminar by the foreman of the Manitoba Weed Supervisors Association. Be it resolved that the Council of the RM of Rosedale does approves attendance to the seminar by the foreman of the Manitoba Weed Supervisors Association. Be it resolved that the Council of the RM of Rosedale does approves attendance to the seminar by the foreman of the Manitoba Weed Supervisors Association. Be it resolv
Public Works.
Public Works and associates. Associated specs. Excuse me. Yeah, we have a, are you sure? Seconder? Yeah, and.
There is one of those.
I know there is.
Spelled differently, though.
All in favor?
Both the first and the last name is spelled differently. We're glad to know you got it on camera, though.
Alrighty.
We just have two decisions to finish this category. Do you guys want to finish it up? One is a Neepawa area donation or sponsorship, I guess, and one
Sponsorship
is
for the
the Rosedale
4-H.
Farm Trail.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So
So it's up to you guys.
4-H Stock Association.
I meant to look that up to see what sponsorship level, and I didn't get a chance to look it up. So I'm not quite sure if we did sponsor last year or not.
I don't think we did.
4-H, yeah, I think.
Did we
For
sponsor?
years.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't buy a steer last year. I don't
Oh,
think.
no, we just helped the kids with the lunch, I think
Yeah.
that's what it was.
We've got
$100.
This is
three levels of sponsorship. The bronze is $99, 100 to 249 is silver, and then gold was 250 to 500.
The silver seemed right to me, in the middle.
Okay?
Platinum's
Or
better.
platinum, yeah, 500.
It is something different,
Yeah.
because we used to just give them a VLT donation.
So if we do $60 or $40 each out of 6 awards, that's 240. That gives us a silver.
Sure, I'm in favor of that.
Yeah, it's because it's we can keep
Out of
some
GLTs.
I'll throw in the extra day.
I don't like being $50 each 6 times, that's 300.
There's no stopping that.
Yeah, I was gonna say gold, yeah.
300?
300, yeah.
Okay, hurry.
There you go. Then we're still, we're gold. We're gold.
Yeah, gold.
We're golden, yeah. Thanks, Ernie, for that.
Where was-
I know we used to donate with $200 each.
Where is
I never give
So we used to give them some.
Okay, where is it? Correspondence was received from the Neepawa and Area 4-H Stock Association. Be it resolved, the Council of the Arm of Rosedale does approve sponsorship of the Neepawa and Area Stock Association in the amount of $300 from the VLT funds. Do I have a mover? Seconder? All in favor? Carried.
Scooper.
Okay, one more.
So the arm of Rosedale Farm Trail. Did you guys get a chance to review the letter? Okay, so I pulled the pamphlet, I guess. I don't know if you guys all know that we have boxes and boxes of these Rosedale Farm conservation projects. And it's actually the White Mud Watershed Conservation District that runs the 480 acre farm, so it's not the arm of Rosedale.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure, maybe White Mud Watershed was maintaining it previously, but this is what I had drafted for, that you guys either want to maintain it or you don't want to maintain it. It's up to you guys, but it is a White Mud
I
Watershed.
don't think we're allowed to make it. Unless White Mud Watershed says okay.
It's their deal.
That's what I mean, like it's theirs, it's not ours, then you got the name with it.
So that letter come to the wrong group then?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
I would
we
think
should-
so. I think it should have went to the White
Yeah.
Mud Watershed.
Agreed. That's where that, I mean,
When you see the name on it, that's what we got.
yeah, yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what should be forwarded to those folks, I think.
So we still put this motion through.
Yeah, I think we should discuss it.
But it's the correspondence.
Yeah.
Can I take it down?
Sure. Down, which makes sense.
The one thing that Kara had mentioned like a year ago was that we don't have a lot of tourism here, and we don't promote tourism. And Dave, not Dave, yes, Dave,
Yeah, we should.
made a couple of good points, and he talked about how he thinks that the Arc of Rosedale should be promoting active leisure, hiking, snowshoeing, skiing, and that kind of stuff. So he made a pretty good case for doing something out there. And I know that he sent a letter to the road board because he thought it was ours. And he made a few good comments about how it's like our parents, grandparents built this place and that we're not maintaining it. And I don't know how true that is. I'm just relating the message. But it seems like the White Mud Watershed District should be convinced by us to maintain that trail, and we should be promoting it. Like if we're talking about hiking trails all the time, this is one.
Absolutely.
And we should get people out there. I didn't know about it. And I consider myself to be like an outdoor recreation guy, but I didn't know that we had a walking trail out there. So I just think that more effort should be put into it or promote it more. And if we could convince the White Mud Watershed District to do something, or even use VLT funds or something to buy a sheep groomer, because you don't need much. You just need a drag. You just got to get rid of the tracks, right?
You don't have to, you can, if the snowmobile club's got 2 snowmobiles, you can pull something around there and you can give them $100 or something. Say thanks for coming to do that for us. You know, one of the guys, I'm sure, would go for a
I
ride.
think we have to ask permission though.
Yeah, we have to
can't
get-
just
we have-
start.
no.
So should we draft letter to lobby them for it to be done?
That's what I would like to see.
Yeah.
And I would
Can
do it
you just
myself. But
ask at a committee meeting? All of you guys sit on watershed. Like, we have various committees.
But I think we should start with the letter. That's my opinion, is that we should, I think the lobby is the great term. We should, because we don't own it, we don't control it. So we should lobby for what we want. And I don't know if it's what we want, but I know that that's what my ratepayers made an eligible case for, and I happen to agree with. But I would present it regardless, but I happen to agree with it in this case.
Okay.
Do you guys want to resolve something? Do you want to make a motion?
I would like to say that we write a letter to the White Mud Watershed District requesting that they.
You make a motion then, Jeff?
I don't know, is that
Okay,
how it works?
let's deal with the situation that's on hand. Okay,
Because we're already gonna run into our,
Okay, sorry.
okay.
because we got to meet
Grab
with
these
these
guys.
guys, and then we have right away, Mr. Cousin with his water bill in 10 minutes.
Sorry, guys.
Hey.
Good day.
Welcome.
Where would you like us?
Yeah.
Yeah, out the door.
Okay, you know what, with your permission, I'm just gonna stand on the back of those good.
Do you guys want chairs to?
No, actually, if you
scooch
don't
in?
mind.
No? If you want to just stand, that's fine.
I'm Wayne Jacobson. I'm the president of the Yellowhead Board.
I'm Jeff Cook, I'm president of the Neepawa Crown Club.
Warren McLeod, president of Neepawa Golf Country Club.
Maybe I'll start off by giving a little bit of a background as to why we're doing what we're doing. And it really started off about a year ago now. The Yellowhead Center had an audit done by Deloitte Touche on all of its operations. And one of the recommendations that came out of that report was we didn't have a strategic plan, whether short-term 5-year or long-term 20-year. There was really no vision for the facility. So that sort of jump-started our board to say, well, we hope the rink is still running in 5 years, maybe 10, 20. There's not a chance that we're going to be able to, keep that facility running the way it is. So, okay, if we're going to look at something new, I believe the town of Neepawa had an opportunity about 50 years ago or something like that to combine, I should say the community, because I really do want to emphasize all 3 of our organizations. Although it says the Neepawa Golf and Country Club, the Neepawa Curling Rink, we are certainly regional in nature. All of our membership is comprised of residents of all the RMs and the town of Neepawa. So,
And all 3 are owned by themselves, like none of them are town-owned facilities or organizations.
right. So, as part of that strategic planning process, we felt as a board that this may be the opportune time to reach out to the curling rink and the golf course. I had done a little sleuthing around the countryside type of thing, and there is a significant parcel of land that is right around the 16th green at the golf course. 16th tee, thank you. That if we were able to develop a union facility, one facility that comprised a new curling rink, a new clubhouse, cart storage, driving range, arena, gymnasium, hall, whatever, that the synergies would be so significant. No more looking for part-time staff to mow in the summertime and look after the curling ice in the wintertime, or the arena, or the one restaurant year-round to service all 3 facilities. So we reached out to the other 2 boards, and I believe that we're all on the same page. It's just too important not to explore the possibility of this happening. We, 3 of us, have already presented to the Town of Neepawa Council, the Council for the Rural Municipality of North Cyprus, Langford, and of course you're our 3rd visit. I would like to also reach out to Lansdowne. I really don't know what the response would be, but what we're sort of asking for right now is someone from your council to be a part of the steering committee. What that will look like, what that will, timelines, we don't know. But I think it's just pretty obvious that at some point in time, if this were to come to fruition, we would need to reach out to the provincial government and the federal government. And I think it's just logical that if, as a steering committee, we have support of at least 3 of the 4 municipalities that are right around the area of Neepawa, that would carry a lot more weight than just our steering committee or just the town of Neepawa, or just, so both the town and the arm of North Cyprus Langford have agreed to have someone be a part of the steering committee. We would like to get it up and running as quickly as possible, because 20 years, as we all know, 20 years goes by fast. And if it does come to fruition, it's going to take years of planning and processing. And I guess the one thing I should add is, in our presentation to the town of Neepawa, we asked that if this were to evolve, if they would, right now it's zoned, I think it's light industrial. I don't know if everyone's familiar, but north of John Lavich's building, not it's time.
This and that?
This and that is building a new building. So west of this and that, and up to the property line with Dr. Zettler's, I guess, quarter, is the area that we're looking at. We don't actually know at this point in time whether it's going to be enough land or not. They put a great big significant drainage ditch in, and I think there's going to be a pond involved. Maybe that's encompassed in whatever this looks like. But as part of the process, we're going to have to reach out to our communities and say, what should this look like? Should it be? So I guess our ask is just a commitment from the council to have one person sit on the steering committee, so you know what's going on, and we feel the support of our municipal authorities.
So you haven't actually got plans in place yet? This is very much starting?
Oh yeah, very much starting.
Ground floor right now. I think to some extent too, kind of see it. One that's been really successful has been the clinic, as an example. All the RNs involved with that, and we are all using that facility, and we're all, or residents of our communities would utilize such a facility, whether it's figure skating, hockey, curling, golf, social or a wedding, it would be pretty encompassing. And it just gives us a bit of an opportunity right now to explore that. That's really all.
And the 3 boards have discussed, all 3 of our organizations. We've been notified via mail. We don't know how much, but all 3 organizations are going to get some amount of money from the Don Flat estate. And so, of course, all 3 of us were nonprofit, and hopefully if the number's black at the end of the year, we're pretty happy. So we don't have money to go out, but this bequest, I think, might provide some seed money at the appropriate time. If there's costs involved in, I don't think rezoning would be one, but preliminary surveying or planning as to what this facility may need for land. part of our ask to the town of Neepawa was if they would freeze that land for however long, and we're gonna know within a year or two whether this is gonna move forward or not. At the end of the day, all three of our organizations would turn the property that we currently own, i.e. the Yellowhead, the curling rink, the parking lot, cart storage area at the golf course, over to the town. So there's something in it for them to hold that land, and it's a significant asset to get us up and running. I don't know if there's any questions or...
And are you talking about dissolving the three boards and forming a new one with the steering committee taking over?
We're probably a long way from just discussing like what the governance of each facility or overall would look like. I think a lot of places do have like a board that would run the facility in general, and then each club kind of has their own branch of that. Yeah. And then it's also going to be another question as to whether or not that ends up, you know, whether at the end of the day that ends up being a town facility or not. I'm kind of hoping not. That's a long ways away yet. But none of our facilities are currently town owned. I mean, we do receive benefits from, but we operate independently from the town. So.
Yeah, like with the structure, that would be, I mean, I personally feel that at some point in time, and I would say later than sooner, because our three organizations still have to exist, still have to provide the services that we're serving. At some point in time, I think there would be some kind of unified structure, because it's going to be, you know, even though we'll have, let's just say a golf course manager, say Landon, a curling rink manager, it will be managed as one facility. So what that looks like, we really don't know. That's why we're reaching out. We want to make sure everyone that should be involved is involved right from the very start and has a say in what that looks like.
Pretty exciting project.
Yeah, well, I think all of us are.
Yeah.
If we can make this work.
It's going to be a long time.
Yeah. But you know, even when you think about the golf course itself, if the 16th tee became number 1, you would end up on number 15, and the shack would be between the 9th and the 10th holes, which, you know, really makes sense.
Yeah.
So that aspect of it just seemed okay. Yeah, that would work. And like I said, we don't know if there's going to be a great big hall. We'll have to have some, I think, some town open wide meetings along the way to say what do you want this to look like.
We'll have to get feedback from, you know, what our user groups want to see and what they would like in the future. So.
And what we can afford.
And you're not thinking about like pools or skating rinks or anything. It's just these three.
Well, again, personally, we're kind of thinking pie in the sky, because you can always come down rather than.
Okay.
But everything I've heard is, and Portage, I think, is a good. You know, we all know Randy Miller, I believe. They're not money makers, and it's a huge draw on the rest of the facility. Now, if that's the input from our communities, it's something that we would certainly consider. But you know, what's our best bang for the buck we're going to invest, and what is available there for us to do with it?
Right.
Yeah. I think Dauphin is a good example. They got the curling ice and the skating ice, and they got a pool in there. But at this stage of the game, we probably haven't included a pool. But that's not to say that was what the residents wanted, and that's what should be there, right? It's all about attracting and utilizing the facility. So if that's what needs to be there, then I think that would be part of it. But definitely these three organizations for sure, probably, I don't know, my little vision anyway, is the halls to, you know, for socials or weddings and things like that. So.
And I guess the other thing I have to keep wrapping my mind around is, we're talking 15 to 20 years realistically from now. What's our communities going to look like 15 or 20 years from now? You know, I mean, Neepawa is our hub. It's doubled in the last 10 years. Or how far away is 10 or 15,000 people, you know, right in and around the core? It's pretty significant.
Okay.
No other questions?
All right.
Okay, so
Thank you so much.
if you could let me know, like I said, I haven't reached out to Lansdowne yet. Obviously, I mean, they're close to Neepawa, but the 3 municipalities are where we're at. If we have support back from the council, then I would like to arrange an inaugural meeting sooner than later.
Right.
Unfortunately, I have to go down south for the last week of March and the first week of April.
That's tough. Birds.
But I mean, if we can get something up and running in March, as far as sitting down and let's start brainstorming on how do we tackle this elephant.
Okay.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Warren, take care. Thank you.
Mr. Constance here.
So, do we in camera for this or not?
I don't think.
Okay.
Once we're done with Mr. Costa, we'll resolve. I just wanted to
Resolve this.
resolve that. And then you guys want to delegate somebody or not?
Right.
So we can cross off whatever we need to.
Interested in that?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, yeah. For that curling club and that thing.
That would be good.
That's what I just asked us.
This way. This way. Did you guys say something?
Okay. Thank you, sir, for coming.
Thank you for hearing me. So I just got a little water problem, Bill. So I'm Dave Cushman. I'm from the Kelwood School. I bought it and I actually live there. I'm a single person living in the school. That's 107 Stewart Avenue. I moved into the school October 1st, 2021. The bill I received for $1,263 dates back to December 19th, or December of 19. And like I said, I didn't move into the school until 2021. A cubic meter of water is 264.17 gallons. If you multiply that by 14, you get 3,698.38 gallons for a 3-month period. You divide that by 91 days, comes out to about 40.64 gallons per day. So I took over possession at the school, as I said, September 2020. I've always paid my minimum 3 months charge of $44.86 to $48.76. After the meter, all my lines are PEX and they all run overhead. So I don't have any lines underneath that could leak. So if there was a leak, I would soon know. I have no leaking taps or running toilets. And over the last 6 months, I have used less than the minimum every time. So it's just coming up now. So I took the meter reading and I know I'm well below the minimum. I know I was away for a couple of weeks, but The meter has now changed 2 times since I took possession. And from June to August 23, the usage is, according to this, was 568. Multiply that by 14 gives you 7963 times 264. It comes up to 21,023 gallons in that period. So I know I didn't have a leak, and I know, so I'm not sure what's going on. But if you divide that by 91, it comes up to 231 gallons a day compared to 40, which I'm not even using. So I'm not sure what we can do about this bill. I'm just presenting the information the best as I know. When the meters were changed, I says, well, do I have to take the meter reading? No, we just send it in and it'll be the difference between the two. So whether the meter readings didn't get done correctly, or I'm not sure, but I feel I'm willing to pay my fair share, and I've always paid on time. But yeah, this is a little excessive.
So I had given you all copies of your bills.
Yes.
And no consumption was recorded on any of the bills
Right.
that we had provided. The information that I provided to you via the spreadsheet was just the minimum charges that you had on your bills.
Right.
It's not that the charges are going back to 2019. It's that those are the quantities of bills that you paid.
Correct.
So from 2019 to 2023, there was no meter readings in our existing system. And I tried to get the ladies to look back to see if we had any previous readings for you, and we don't, unfortunately. The first reading that we got with our new system for your meter was 550, so that was back in June.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the meter that you have in your house currently wasn't in our system. So when we changed the meter, when the RM changed the meter, it didn't get put into the system. So the readings that we were retrieving weren't being matched to your property.
Yeah.
So once we understood what meter you had, what number, now we actually have the meter readings.
Yeah.
So from June to September, 25 meters cube was utilized, and then September to December, 7 meters cube was utilized. So I understand that you were away from the property.
Right.
So because of the span of time, I'm not sure, I'm assuming water usage is up and down throughout the year, and we don't have really any good data back to 2019 or 2018 actually, when you took the property over, when you purchased it. So we only have the current readings that we have today based on giving a new meter and then what the meter says currently.
So there's been 2 meter changes since I took possession. One was by Sid and Burton, and the other one was by not Boyle, Susan. Yeah.
I believe one was 2019 and one was 2020.
2019, I got it here.
September 2019, one meter was changed over, and then I'm not sure when the second one got.
Yeah, and I should have probably taken the meter reading myself, so I had the thing, but I didn't. Just trusting that they knew what they were doing.
And have you tested the current meter? Or that's what I missed on. The current meter, like you said, that you did some testing? Or
Well, just keeping track.
keeping track?
Yeah, and I'm always using less than the minimum.
But have you tested the meter itself?
No, I don't have any means to test the meter itself.
That's all the information I have for you guys.
Okay.
Any questions?
I got a couple of comments, because I'm still a little bit, like, because it's a school, is it not like a different rate, or is it a residential rate even though it's a school?
It's residential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do we have a commercial industrial rate as opposed to a residential?
I don't
Okay.
think so. Just based on consumption.
And why was the meter changed? Okay, that wasn't your request, that was just something that happened.
Well,
Okay.
some of that was an update in the town, like that reading system now was one of the upgrades. I'm not sure why the second meter, but one of the upgrades would be that new reading system. Yeah.
So I don't know, did they switch meters on me? Like I said, I don't have the readings, so I can't.
Right.
But somewhere that water went and that wasn't me.
And the other, like, the thing that I'm looking at from the RM standpoint is that we're already running that Kelvin water, are we not running it like barely at break even now? Like, we're not
We're in
charging
deficit.
enough, we're in a deficit, like, we're actually not charging enough for water right now. So the system is going in a hole, so it's like, it's one of those things, it's like, people aren't paying enough, but nobody wants to pay more. And that's ugly, that's an ugly spot to be in on the ratepayer side, right? Because I'm on that side too. And this is a fairly low water rate environment anyway. Like, I'm surprised at how low the water bills are here. It's a fantastic deal, it's one of the best deals in the
But we
country.
don't set the rate, public utility board sets the rate. And the recovery, I guess at the rate they had to next year, they were, all costs were recovered. It's like the system in Eden, it's not paying its way now either. So you've got to charge a little bit more.
But in this scenario, it's the missing gallons, it's not.
Yeah.
I think Dave would be prepared to pay you for the water if he was using the water. And that's, the rate would change. He would just pay more if the rate went up and still missing gallons.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, so it's.
Paying my fair share, but it's not.
It's the
my
missing
fair
liter.
share.
Yeah, we have to figure out the missing liter, that's,
Yeah.
or cubic liter.
Yeah.
It's not a liter anymore, it's cubic something there.
Yeah, I know I threw a lot of figures out there, you know, gallons to cubic meters and.
Well,
but it
we get
doesn't
gallons,
matter.
we get gallons.
Yeah,
here.
okay, yeah.
Because I know for my own peace of mind, I would be getting 1,000 liter tote and I'd be filling it with 1,000 liters or a cubic meter of water and making sure that my meter ticked over once and not twice. That would be, and because I'm going to use that water. Right?
Yeah, but I think the meters have been changed, now they're updated, so they should be to the industry standard as today.
Well, the original meters were done by hand too, so it's just like a clerical error. It
It
would
would be
be
state reading.
easy to do, like one number
Exactly.
flipped over from another or something would be, especially in the thousands department. If it was at the top end of the number, not the bottom end of the number. But I guess the best we can do is look into and communicate with you.
Sounds good. Thank you, council.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Nice meeting you.
And we refer to it as a school only now because it's always been a school, but it's actually just a residence. But it's the
Just a
biggest
big
house- It's the biggest house in Calvin. Yeah. The only house in Calvin with its own gymnasium in it.
Because that's when you first come into town, right? That's what we're talking about?
Yeah, on the
Yeah,
left hand
on
side
the
of it,
left.
yeah, north side of it, yeah.
Okay, Mr. Ray, come home.
No, I think Melissa's previous suggestion is a good idea, just
Data, yeah.
run a year and see what to do, because I think it's a great idea, actually. Because we have, that zero entries there for a year is on us. That's not on the RM itself, because somebody must have been reading it and either not recording it, or who knows.
And then we could try to look down in the archives too and see if we can
Yeah,
find
more
information.
time.
I'm not sure what recording mechanism we were using back in 2019, 2020, 2021, so
Well, I remember being cards, like a.
maybe there are some files down there that we can pull.
Mhm.
I'm not quite sure, we just didn't
Does
have
it
time before this
actually work
meeting.
the administration charge to their time to do that?
Yeah, but,
I think it is because it could happen again, or it could be happening to somebody else, and it would kind of.
Not aware, yeah.
Then we'd know, like, then Melissa would know where all that archive stuff is.
Yeah.
It's kind of a crash course in auditing somebody's water bill. 'Cause it
I'm
will
not
come up again.
personally gonna go get it. I'll ask Colleen.
But you're the CAO, and you're the one that can,
Yeah.
you can decide who you want to put out
Yeah,
there.
but it goes back around, because I mean, maybe Dave's more aware of his meter readings than some of the other folks, and maybe we're not overcharging the rate, I don't mean, but maybe everybody's missing liters too.
Well, and we could take a look too at the actual Kelvin water meter readings.
Oh, the main one, yeah,
For
yeah.
the whole quarter.
Yeah.
And see what other people are paying,
Yep.
because there's some pretty big bills,
No, there would be for sure. I mean, it's,
depending on,
Well, it depends what their use is, I know there's probably one resident in that area that there's actually watering their livestock, so then that rate goes right to the roof. right?
Yeah, the gallons there would be,
Yeah, huge.
are huge. Huge.
And we do look at the bills before we send them, and we do call residents ahead of time if we see a spike. The person watering livestock, they just started that, so they had a spike in their bill, and we called and said, hey,
It's coming.
yeah, this, what's going on, basically, and he's like, oh yeah, I know. But we don't wanna blindside people when we're sending the bills either.
So with this,
It's up to you, if you guys wanna resolve cost minutes first, or,
do you want to resolve this, or do we want to just tell them that that 800 stays till we figure out the 1 year cost? And
I think it should stay until.
Until we get more data.
More data? Like no interest, just let it sit.
How long, if we're doing quarterly meter readings, how long is it gonna take to get the data? Well, it should take a year.
well, I think we can still resolve it, so I have a bunch of information here, and then the suggestion is be resolved that charges to Mr. Crossman's water bill account will remain on the account, and we can say until further, data can be gathered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that, yeah. That way we're going both sides of that.
Yeah.
Right.
And not transfer to a property tax account.
Yeah, no.
Gives us time to.
That's why that triggers that.
Yeah, right on.
Just as the bill stays in the same usage for the next 6 months, you kind of see.
Well, how do you go from 28 meters down to, cubic meters down to 7?
Right.
So a huge variation.
And I just want to say one thing, my water consumption in my house doubled, and I couldn't figure out why. And I called and complained about my meter, and I called and complained. And then I was much embarrassed, because I'm good about managing water, I was much embarrassed to find that my frost hydrant on the exterior side of the wall had burst, and it was, that drip doubled my water bill.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
And because it was draining into soil, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed.
Well, toilet's probably your biggest nightmare in your
All
house.
of it's water.
Yes, sir, all of them. I'm giving you a challenge today,
I
Carl.
see that.
Just wait till we get further on.
Yeah, no, whereas Mr. Kizner requested to present to the council the delegation on behalf of himself and the outstanding water bill, and whereas the council received information from Mr. Guzman, as well as information provided by the VIA, the CAO, that Mr. Guzman's water meter reading had not been entered into the electronic unit management system since the installation of his new water meter in 2020, and whereas a water meter reading supplied June 3rd, 2023 due to the upgrade the water meter reading technology, therefore be it resolved the charges associated with Mr. Guzman's water bill account will remain.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
Put under that one, will remain on the account until more data can be gathered and not transferred to his tax bill and no interest applied. Do I have a mover?
I'll second that.
Dave Tederick. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Whereas the delegation presented information on behalf of the board of the districts for the Yellowhead Recreation Center, Neepawa, the Neepawa Golf, I think that was supposed to be
Golf
golf.
and Country, yeah, it's Golf and Country.
It's in cold. Golf and Country Club and Neepawa Curling Club, and whereas the delegate request a council representative to act as a member of the steering committee, excuse me. Therefore, be it resolved that the council of the RMA of Rosedale will or will not?
We will.
Will? Yeah. Designate a member of council's steering committee. The council member that will be designated to the committee is?
Ernest.
You want to go on?
Yeah,
Okay, Jeff. Anderson?
Do I have to learn how to golf?
Yes.
No, we should be able to
That's
swim in
easy.
case they put a pool in.
That's an easy one to learn, Jeff, so don't worry about that.
Do I have a mover? Harry? Seconder? Robert Scott?
You were supposed to second that, Jeff.
Was I?
That means you were willing.
Oh, okay.
You didn't say he was gonna accept it.
I don't think you can.
All in favor? Carried.
Good job,
Should ask her to record it though.
Jeff. Absolutely not.
Okay. Rosedale Farm Trail.
That would be your name, Jeff.
Okay, but is that a motion there?
That's the
That is, so there's, I think there's 2 motions that need to be made. Are we going to maintain it and pay for it to be maintained? And then what do you want to do, moving forward to lobby? So this one is, are we gonna pay for it?
No.
And then another motion would need to be made on whatever else you guys want to do.
And I'm against paying for it.
I agree. At this point anyways.
Yeah.
We've donated a lot to that trail.
Oh, yeah. Drop, big ground covers, ground covers.
Mower, trimmers.
Oh, we're already gonna need the watershed anyways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We bought them that
Then do
mower.
the-
Yeah.
We bought them
We
that
bought
mower.
them, yeah.
How much did that cost? Remember? It was a
So
pretty fancy,
Yeah.
we
it was a
also,
Cadillac of mower.
we also pay watershed levies in a large amount to some of the watersheds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is why I think we should be lobbying them to
Yeah.
do this.
To do
I
this.
think it's like close to 30 grand
I see that.
for the watersheds.
So you want somebody to make a motion that we not?
Well, we have to do this one first, though,
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess I'll just read this out first. Whereas correspondence was received regarding the Rosedale Farm Trail, there be it resolved that the RM of Rosedale will not or will maintain the trail located on the 480 acres parcel of land obtained by the White Shed Water Mud Conservation District Board as a conservation demonstration project. So we will or we will not?
Will not.
We will not. And do I have a mover on that? Robert Burton, seconder Robert Scott. All in favor? Now do we have to make a motion about?
Yeah, it's up to you guys, whatever, if you want me just to forward this letter on from him to Watershed, or,
I would think so.
And I would, my personal preference would be where it's like, whereas the RM of Rosedale supports tourism in all its forms in the RM, therefore be it resolved that we lobby the Whitewood Conservation District to maintain the trail for winter users
As well.
as well. That's what
so I just have a question. So we've been requested to maintain this trail by this individual. I'm just wondering if we should just let the individual know we don't maintain the trail, it's not ours to maintain, and then he can reach out to Watershed?
Watershed.
Or do you want us
I want both.
to reach out?
That's my preference is both. That he should be encouraged.
So he should send a letter then, and then we should just send a letter on our behalf saying to the White Shed Water Mud that we'd like the trail to be maintained for winter.
use. Could they?
Activities.
Winter use
Yeah.
activity, yeah.
Yeah.
Because summer use, they already look after it, right? So
So then we should send Dave Burton that we don't have to do that trip. He can forward his letter to them, and then we can do it. Does that
And I
work
told
for you?
him, that I'd call him back after the meeting to let him know what happened.
Okay.
So if you wanted informally, I can just contact him, but if you want it formally, then Melissa should contact him.
Yeah,
Or
I guess.
our office. That's right.
Yeah, either one of those works, but that's.
Either one.
Make a request that we forward the information that we've received to the Whitewood Watershed about maintaining the trail. And we'll also send a letter of support to the watershed saying from our ratepayers that we need to trail maintained. the winter activities. Is that,
Not just summer.
yeah,
Yeah.
is that close?
What do you
Write it?
think?
You want me to write it?
You gotta show some support to them anyways.
Well, that's.
Yeah, no, that's right, because he, I mean, it is confusing, that the trail's called Rosedale
Yeah.
Trail, which I mean, makes sense, it would be our trail, but it's not, so it's, he didn't do anything wrong, just.
I can't see why she's maintaining it. I know it. You think they will?
I don't know.
Why? I know.
Put it this way, we've done our due diligence for our ratepayers.
Oh, yeah, I know.
By sending a letter of support. That's
And what they do with
Where's
it,
that one?
And what they do with it, that's up to
Yeah.
them. But we've done our due diligence.
And you have to give them the chance to say yes, because
Well-
if they say yes, great.
Yeah.
But
This
if they
is
say no, then we can.
probably the best approach, I would think. It's just my line, but.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's,
That's the only thing.
Never been down.
No?
But there's lots of people that do go over there.
Oh, there's always cars there when I go by.
Summertime, isn't there?
Always.
Yeah.
Summer, winter.
Summer and winter.
See, and in my opinion, it should just be a snowshoe trail, not maintained at all, just walking.
yeah.
Or cross country ski or
Yeah,
whatever.
if you want to do it, yeah.
Right.
One guy goes down on the sled and it makes the trail for the cross country skiers, and then it makes a last spot for people to walk.
Oh, yeah. So it's dual.
It's a dual trail.
No, thanks.
Only thing is you get a kid that has 2-inch paddles on there.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So there's, it's not a snowmobile trail right now, it's just a walking
No, it's just a
trail,
walking,
okay.
yeah.
So that's why the snowmobile has to be given permission to go.
I don't think it has to be given permission, like, somebody could probably go there, but it's probably not much fun for a guy on a sled. Because it's probably not much of a
Actually,
trail
there's
for
three
a
people
guy.
that's gone through with the site at times, but John was down there.
But I know like guys
Guys
will
want
go
to
down there
ski
with a sled and they'll pack the trail.
Yeah, I think that makes sense what you're
And
saying.
if you have, you know, a resident such as that, that's gonna be opposed to it, then let the watershed deal with it.
Yeah, because they have sleds of their own too, but, or maybe not.
Well, they can hire somebody. to-
Yeah, they could, let
do
yeah.
it.
This is where this fellow is the site manager, or is he the, just
He's
the
the guy that
saver?
was maintaining it. Like John goes up, cuts the grass.
Okay.
No, they've got a little committee.
They got a little committee, that's right too.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we, normal summer's on, because there's.
I wanted to hear.
Pretty well
this.
heads it up, I think.
I think so.
They have a committee that's maintaining the trail?
Well, they're the ones that approached us about getting the
Funding,
lawn
that's
mower
right.
and
Yeah.
And the gravel, load of gravel,
Yeah, I
actually.
mean,
Yeah.
We received letters from
gravel
them.
for them.
So they should go to that committee then, instead of the white level?
Yeah, they must have got permission from Whitefed to,
That's what I was thinking, yeah, why are we?
Yeah.
But
Like,
why we do it,
I'm just
exactly.
questioning why are we lobbying them? That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
where I,
Because we want to
it's not right.
encourage tourism in the area.
maybe.
I agree.
Encourage
I
health.
don't know.
But maybe we're sending the letter on person or
I
groups of
agree.
persons, maybe that's, if there's a committee, I forgot that, you're right, there's a committee.
That letter should then go to the committee, and also maybe the water. Is that?
Like, I don't know how John got involved in that originally, I don't know, like Williams, like how did he get involved?
He's not anymore?
No, I don't know, how did he originally?
Oh, I don't know,
Yeah.
I guess because he lived
Yeah,
right there.
I guess.
Maybe he walks up there lots.
Mhm.
One guy told me he goes every day
Oh, really?
for a walk up there, yeah.
So then, to really squish this down, let's just forward our information or letters to the trail committee.
Let
And
them look at it.
let the trail committee then look at
Do-
things.
do
Let
They
Yeah.
can,
them
Well,
deal with
it's-
the other stuff. Sorry about that.
And they can go.
No, I'm just questioning,
I
first
didn't
of all,
realize
why
they
does
had
it
a
need to be
committee.
maintained? We have no snow.
No.
So I am wondering how much snow is actually on the trail for you not to be able to walk on it? Because we haven't gotten any snow this year. So I'm assuming Whiteland didn't go maintain it because there was no snow. It's like us not grading or plowing snow when there's no snow on the road. And then is it our place? If they already have a committee and they're already taking care of it,
Exactly.
should we, and
Be
we're
getting
also
involved.
already paying money to Watershed to maintain things, is it our place to now send letters to ask for things that I would assume they're already maintaining?
I think if you sit down a committee.
Maybe you could
We
just.
can just forward the information on to the committee and let
That's,
them deal with
that's
it.
what I think is the best way to go.
They want watershed to deal with it.
Is that not correct, Melissa?
Wondered if we just send the
It's
letter
Well, I
back.
think it is, because they maintain it through the summertime.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they maintain it through the winter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's their
That's there.
dog and pony show.
Oh, lots of snow there.
Okay.
I'm sure there is. So.
In the most of trees, I know a lot of places there's.
Well, and the court
But after the
it'll
trees.
be- it'll be icy and rough and it'll be nasty there.
Because I know the pasture, the guys are still riding in the pasture with sleds.
What's that?
The guys are still riding in the pasture with sleds.
Yeah.
There's lots of snow out there, it's crazy how much, it's like a different world, flips over and done. Goes from farmland to foot and a half of snow. I was like, really?
I just thought you were making that really long for Carl.
I am, I'm doing 2 pages for Carl today, because he loves.
By the end of the year, there'll be 6 pages long.
Yeah.
It's just one sentence at a time.
I know you're not looking at Carl, but I'll just tell you, he's really happy.
Wait till she flips that one over.
See the other side of it.
I can type way faster than I can write.
Well, it's like, yeah.
What's that?
I thought there was some kind of trail committee. but-
You can take these directly
Yeah.
into it.
Because
I was thinking about that.
Remember someone asked for a donation or assistance?
We got a long more than one.
Summertime?
This was typed in.
There's that gravel to fill in spots.
No, it's slush. Remember that guy?
Yeah, I did. I remember it says on cost, I didn't your name come up.
I don't know what she asked for his last time.
Yeah.
Gravel piled up in her heads. And it doesn't matter which one or the road. You know, we got work. Why? So they got replaced.
Okay, I'm gonna read this because I'm not gonna make Carl read it because it's horrible penmanship. So whereas correspondence was received regarding the Rosedale Farm Trail, be it resolved that the ratepayer be contacted to advise him the White Mud Watershed Committee takes care of the trail and his letter be forwarded to the committee. Is that good?
Perfect.
Oh, and this one goes on.
Just seems to
Spike.
go here on Carl's head, just like that, boom, there.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, my penmanship is, that's why I type everything.
Okay, do I have a mover?
I'll move that, Carl.
Second?
Hurry.
Oh, sorry. All in favor? Carried. Okay, next, signing authority.
So all of our systems in the RM require 2 signatures or 2 people to perform the transaction. So if I move money in the bank, somebody needs to approve it, or if somebody else moves money in the bank, I would approve it. Because we have 2 employees currently, myself and Loveland. We will need to get Loveland on so she can approve what's required. So either approve movements within the bank account, she could be a backup for signing checks, and then also she's doing payroll and I'm approving. Or I'll do payroll and she approves. So there's really, in my opinion, no way around having her as a signer unless somebody else is gonna come in and
That's the right thing to do.
approve those transactions. And of course, we need a resolution to take to the bank to say
Yeah.
you guys allow her to be.
Whereas motion movements of financial or from one account to another requires an employee to transfer and an employee to approve the transfer. And whereas checks require 2 signatures, be it resolved that the Council of the RM of Rosedale authorized Loveland Villafonte be approved as a signing authority at the Stride Credit Union. Do I have a mover? Robert Scott, seconder.
Sure. Give me first, what you say.
All in favor? Carried. What's the next one here? Payment agreement water.
So in November, council had resolved that the water charges on the ratepayers account would stay on the ratepayers account for the individual that trenched his own water line and connected to our water. So he has come in to enter into an agreement with the RM to keep his property out of tax sale. So the attachment in the minutes or the agenda is the agreement, and I just was wanting approval for myself and Carl to sign the agreement to enter in to the contractual agreement with him, so he would just pay over time. The outstanding balance from 2022 is $8,817.77. So that'll be over a period of time that he would pay. So the contract is basically aligning everything, and then it's got a schedule as well of payments. So the first of the month, every month, and then if he wants to pay it off sooner, good. If he wants to abide, this would be the minimum. And if the minimum isn't met, then we would send it to tax sale. So just wanted approval for us to be able to sign and enter into that agreement with the ratepayer.
Are we gonna let other people sign on with the payment plan as well? A new person wants to come in?
Generally, we would. So currently we have 21, somebody paid yesterday. 21 properties that are at tax services. So they all have been sent letters. Fees have been applied to their account. So I'm not sure if everybody's aware. Once you don't pay your 2022 taxes and 2024 hits, we send you to tax sale. So last meeting we'd resolved that 2022 would be our tax sale year. Council resolved that. So the list was then sent to tax services, sorry. And then right off the bat, you get like a $450 charge on your taxes. Because now there's a bunch of administrative work that needs to be done, letters are sent. All kinds of agencies are contacted to make sure you own the property, to make sure you haven't passed away, all those types of things, to verify that we can actually legally sell your property. And then as things progress with tax services, more fees get applied, liens get applied to your property, and then all of those fees then would be, the ratepayer would have to pay, or we will sell their property to recoup those charges. So as we go down the path with tax sale, the fees just get more and more and more on the person's account. So it's best for them to come and make an agreement with us to pay over a course of time, rather than going down the path of tax sale.
So, two things. I didn't interrupt you because I really appreciated that answer, but what I meant was for a new water utility connection for somebody that decides to build a house in Kelwood.
I think
Is that
the RM would be willing. I'm
That's
assuming
actually
you
maybe
guys would be.
a good idea for promotion parts, so make a payment schedule would be better than the lump sum.
and would we be willing to let do 0%, like if Joe Blow came in tomorrow, would we let them do a 2-year 0% connection payment schedule?
You'd have to throw a stipulation in there that if you
If they
don't
don't
make
pay.
your payment, then there is now a tax can be added, because now you're making
I think it might help, Jeff.
It
honestly.
would help.
It might help going forward,
Yeah.
because it's, it might help going forward.
Because I wouldn't want one person to get 0% and then somebody else say get to nothing.
Get said no to, yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I think, I'd personally be okay with that, because it promotes our communities to put people with water hookups, and it makes the payment a little bit easier to
Easier,
swallow,
yeah.
yeah.
On the other hand, Rosedale's not a bank.
No,
Yes.
that's right.
We have to pay the bill to get the
Exactly.
water hooked up.
Yeah.
So it depends how comfortable you guys are paying 7% interest for that person to get water.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's up to you guys. In this
So how much
situation,
interest do we pay?
what's that?
What'd you say, how much interest do we pay?
If we have to subsidize them or bankroll them and have it in our line of credit, we're paying 7%
Yeah,
interest.
that's what
Yeah.
I didn't hear what you said, sorry.
So Cappy for one side is free and the other side, you know?
Yeah.
That's why they got banks.
I think the situation,
It's unique.
and it started in 2019, so there's been a lot of communication back and forth between us and the ratepayer, and I think this is a good solution.
I agree. This is a one-off, so I think it's something we have to, the other side, what Jeff is saying, is something we have to review going forward.
Yeah.
That's what I put it.
I guess you could do it on a case by case, I guess, too. Saying,
Yeah,
Or
well,
else you just make it the 7%, they're covering that 7% at least, you know. we charge you 7% to cover our costs of the 7% that we're
Then that
hearing.
just, then they're just paying interest on it, so it's
Right.
1.25% interest, so it'll be 15, I think, across the year.
Well, no, not
In which case,
Not this guy, yeah.
ongoing,
Yeah.
you know, so if they want to make a payment, then.
But in this
that's
case, we're
seven.
turning it to a charity.
Yeah.
Like, we are giving this guy a discount.
But we're getting, but at least we're getting it done.
We're getting it done.
So it's better than not getting it done, so.
Yeah, that's it. It's devil's and bullshit.
It's putting an end to the 4 years
An old
of
issue,
conflict
yeah.
that's been going on, so it should be,
Yeah.
it'll be finished now moving forward, I'm assuming, as long as he keeps paying.
No.
And then it's kind of tricky also when we start putting things in the system, we just automatically transfer owing amounts at specific times of the year. So say your water bill is outstanding, we transfer it to your tax roll in April, say for example, so that when we do taxes, that's on your notification when we send tax bills out in August. So that's why we're transferring that, so we don't want a lot of one-offs. Mr. Cosmin will be one that we're gonna have to keep an eye on, and I'll put a note on his account not to transfer him, or transfer it back if it does automatically get transferred. But we don't want a bunch of stuff that we're holding.
I don't think we want to promote the other side of that, what we were discussing overly, too much.
Well, unless it encourages development and housing and functioning communities.
That's why it'd be better with a case, someone presented us with their, ask, let's call it, and then maybe we could deal with that at the time. And that's because it hinges on getting a new property in one of our communities for the water, or not. It might be worthwhile our looking at it.
But if they're building a new housing site and everything else, you put that in a mortgage, you get a better rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then that's another option.
So I would rather see that option done than be
The bank of business.
And the only other thing I'll say is that, again, I'm just gonna compare it to a couple other towns, but Flin Flon, outstanding stuff like this, because it's in the water, it's not the taxes, but it's a 1% penalty per month, plus the 19% interest. Like, and that's what keeps that under control. And in this case, like in 3 months' time, and I don't know the person, I'm not saying this, I'm not trying to create a problem, but in 3 months' time, when the payment is late, is it, we're now the bank, we're now the collections agent, right? Now there's more problems in it. So what is the standard gonna be for this one? Like, are you gonna foreclose on the loan and put it in the tax sale? If the
Yes,
payment is missed?
that is
And
what's
that's
gonna
what's
happen, yes.
because there's been 4 years of back and forth, right?
Yeah.
So this is now hard.
It's in the contract.
It's in the agreement.
Yeah, I know, but there's other contracts too that,
Yeah.
like, we've got lots of contracts out there that we don't enforce. Like
Yeah.
late fees for building and whatnot. We just, you're right, we said it, but we didn't mean it.
Yeah, no, that's even our bylaws sometimes won't get going the way they're supposed to go.
So exactly.
Yeah.
No, agree. And
So a delinquent payment then would be automatic into the tax?
Automatic.
Okay.
Yeah, we just notify tax bill.
That's, okay, so that's, yeah,
Then the process would start.
okay, because, yeah, we've been, it's a nice solution for this problem if we can make it go away. And actually a short time frame, so it
Yeah.
was less than, just over the year, right?
Yeah. Excuse me. Anything else?
There you go, Carl.
Whereas outstanding water connection charges from 2022 are on the ratepayers account, which could result into the property being placed on the list of for tax sale. And whereas the ratepayer has verbally communicated to approve payments, be it resolved that the REIT and the CAO to authorize to sign the agreement for payment of the tax arrears. Excuse me, do I have a mover? Crowford. Second. For Dave Tedder. All in favor? Carried.
So Jeff, if it maybe puts your mind at ease, I think this individual pays close to $3,600 a year taxes. It's a welcome property in the RM.
And we're supposed to do everything we can to encourage properties.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
And they did just build, so it's a new building.
Yeah.
So that's A plus.
Yes.
All right, what's next?
LUNCH.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the Public Utility Board.
Uh,
So before I joined the RM, I think Colleen had forwarded a request to the Public Utility Board to pay our deficit via our surplus funds. So we did receive approval in January to pay the deficits on both Eden and Kelwood for the deficits. Eden was 2017, 2019, and 2022. We didn't collect enough funds to cover the water utility, and then Kelwood in 2022, we didn't collect enough water to cover the Kelwood utility either. So what the Public Utility Board has provided is they've ordered us to do a rate study and then also apply, give them the information back so then they can decide if our rates are adequate or our rates are not adequate, and then advise what the new rates would be, I think, moving forward. So my suggestion is we've received a quote from Way to Go Consulting in regards to doing the study, which seems quite comprehensive, and they actually did the application in the first place because there was no CAO here for Colleen to get all of this going. So they're familiar with the file, they're familiar with what needs to be done, and they've already provided a quote on what it would cost for us to get that rate study complete. And the rate study is also required by June 30th, 2024 this year. So the study needs to be done and the application needs to be made before June 30th, 2023. So I'm requesting that we be permitted to hire them to conduct all of the activities associated with Kelwood and Eden. And this is a 2-page. This is a 2-page resolution. So the draft resolution, I guess, is that whereas the RM of Rosedale submitted an application to the PUB for deficit approval 2017, 2019, and 2022 for Eden Utility and 2022 for Kelwood Utility, and whereas the Public Utility Board approved the fund to be recovered from the utility accumulated fund surplus, and whereas the Public Utility Board orders the municipality to review the Eden and Kelwood water utility rates for adequacy and file a report with the Public Utility Board as well as an application for revised rates, if applicable, by June 30th, 2024, and directs the RM to file a rate application on or before June 30th, 2024. And whereas a quote has been provided by Way to Go Consulting for the utility rate adequacy review and utility rate study, my suggestion is to say, be it resolved that Way to Go Consulting be hired to conduct activities associated to the quotation provided January 22nd, 2024. That's the suggested motion.
I'll move.
Sorry, I think that has.
I have a question
Yes.
about that. We're gonna pay someone to do a study to tell us to put the rates up into utilities. Can we skip out on that one part of that by just bumping the rates up on our utilities?
No.
Because you gotta go through the Public Utility Board, and we have to do all these.
Because that's what they're gonna come back with, we all know that. 'Cause the rates are too cheap, we just discussed that before.
Right.
And I mean, it's
That'd be too simple.
too easy.
This has all
Way too
been
easy.
government regulated.
But
so
it's
there's
pretty
nothing-
complicated.
Sorry.
Yes, I have another question, and that is, these costs should be coming out of the utilities, not of the ratepayers. So how do we transfer this cost, although the RM writes the check? Does it then get reimbursed from the utility, not the
Fund,
bank account, whatever, I can't
Yeah.
think what it's actually called in our list of bank
because
accounts?
it only deals with certain ratepayers in
Yeah.
the municipality.
Because otherwise, people in the middle of nowhere are paying for
Somebody's water. bill.
Somebody's water bill.
Yeah.
They're the ones that pay for this, not the whole RM, correct?
It depends what bank we want to pull it out of. So if we
Right.
want to pull it out of the water utility, or if we want to pull it out of,
General fund.
We're
And it
happy.
should come out of water utility, in my
I
opinion.
agree with that, actually.
and then there's also a $150 fee for both of the assessments that took place. So we need to pay the Minister of Finance as well for the reports
Well,
that we receive from
they gotta
Public
get their
Utility
share.
Board.
Yeah.
So those fees as well should come out of
Right,
that
This
sheet.
is very much a back scratch system, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
It's
'cause
terrible.
they're gonna make us, I mean, you gotta go through the motion.
Usually they don't have much choice.
So
We
just
have a choice.
a question, if we had bumped the rates up on our own and it was running on its own dollar, then this wouldn't have happened?
I think we have to make an application to bump the rates.
Yes.
We have to do
And you
everything.
still have to go through the water. You still gotta get an approval, yeah.
So if I'm reading this right, we have to do this step, and then after this step is done, then we can do an application for increasing the rate, correct?
Yes.
Right.
That's the way I read it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
I
think that's-
believe the
You're
last
caught.
rate study was 2019.
Yeah.
Was when it was complete, was 2019.
They're the ones that set them out for us to start with. When we got the water utility, they're the ones that set, we couldn't do anything. They told us.
Now
what
we can do an application when the information is right here anyway, so I think that's what we gotta
I
do.
think they set it a little too low to start with.
So in reality, I assume Way to Go is gonna give us the information that they're gonna use to conduct the rate study. So we could probably duplicate that on an annual basis, the RM, once we get their report, where they pull the info from, how that all works, once we get the template. So then I would suggest probably moving forward, we should be reviewing the rates annually, same way as we do with budgets and set tax levies, instead of from 2019, now we're in 2024, right?
Yeah.
There's lots of changes in those,
In that little part, yeah.
maintenance.
And do you have the capacity right now
No.
to do it in-house?
And they already-
First of all, I don't know how to do it, so then I would have to figure out what I need to pull, the financial statements, the information, all that stuff that I would need to gather. Way to Go already knows how to do it.
They
So
got the ball
it would
rolling, it's
be-
just like if you start to build a house and then you're finishing it. Doesn't work.
We don't need to do it to another CAO.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
did it to
eventually
one.
we will have the capacity,
Made
but
her do
today,
something she
no.
shouldn't have done.
Yeah. So let's, yeah,
Yeah, let's-
let's go for it.
Here, Carl.
The money
Okay,
as well.
so Robert moved
You
it.
know, at least it gives you a template or
Uh,
something
second.
to go.
I'll second it just because
Then it's-
I'm more confused than ever.
That's what I do.
This makes perfect sense.
All in favor?
Very perfect sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's gotta be that rate, that's, but just, we might as well bump up our own rates here than others.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's the problem with this politics, very little of it makes sense.
All right. Spread for dinner.
I second that.
What will we need a motion? We're doing things by the book today.
We'll need a motion to vote on.
Yep.
Brian made that motion an hour ago, give him the chance.
I know, that's all I do.
Well, we're gonna close. We're gonna adjourn the meeting so that we can go for lunch, just like we do for public hearings and things like that, because in the past, we did an adjourn, you guys just went. So we're gonna adjourn. You guys can go do what you do. And then we'll see you back here when you get back.
Do we have to tell you on there where we're going for lunch?
That makes sense.
No.
Okay, to now adjourn the regular meeting at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, so they
Break for lunch, reconvenes at 1 o'clock. Mover. Yeah. Seconder. Dave. All in favor? Carried.
If we don't move it back in, we get to go home.
Well, nobody just stood on your
You could do this by the book, I guess so.
Yeah. Where'd them guys go?
Maybe that's why she threw that at me.
But I think we have to wait for Melissa.
Yeah.
Easy now.
Easy.
They're not that big.
Can I give you a resolution here?
We're done. We're ready for
Oh, you're ready. You're back in.
We're back
Okay.
in.
All right, so we have a delegation here from Crown Lands and, Conservation, sorry.
The easier one.
And then I know we've had some discussions previously, but I just wanted to know if there's any communication that's going to be of legal proceedings or maybe in the preliminary stages of investigation during this conversation?
Probably.
Yeah.
So we'll have to go in camera for that.
Yeah.
camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
An increase in salary, whereas an additional contract details regarding to the responsibility of the contractor and the responsibility of the RM Rosedale are to be included in the revised contract. Therefore, be it resolved that the CAO will present the received contract to the water treatment treatment contractor with a daily rate of $50 for up to 3 hours worked and an additional hour rate of $20 for each additional hour over 3 hours per day, as well as an additional contract details to the water treatment contractor. Do I have a mover?
I'll move.
I'll second. Carl.
Dave Tuderick. All in favor? Carried.
During the last meeting, I had presented to have the tax sale date for October 17th. Council wanted me to go back to tax sale and get a date that was on a regular council meeting. Unfortunately, the date cannot be supported by legal counsel, so if we have any issues with tax sale, there'll be no legal counsel to provide support for us, so then we would be in a bad situation. So the new revised date that was provided is October 21st. I have also reached out to the Board of Revisions folks at assessment to move the Board of Revisions to that date as well, so we could just have one meeting, October 21st. So rather than having a regular meeting on the second Friday, we would just have it on the October 21st time slot. Is what I'm proposing.
This time we're all covered.
Dave want me, I like it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then if we choose in October, if there's things going on, we can do both if required.
Whereas correspondence was received from the tax service to request a date for the 2024 tax sale, and whereas council discussed on January 12, 2024, and resolved that date be requested that falls on a regular council meeting, and there was excuse me, and whereas a date could be accommodating on the regular council meeting date, but legal counsel to support the tax sale proceeds would not be available on the regular council meeting day up to support council during the tax sale. Therefore, be it resolved that the council of the RM of Rosedale agree to the 2024 tax sale date of October 21st, 2024. Do I have a mover? Robert Scott. Second, Fawcett. All in favor? Carried.
I'll be here the Friday before. My phone will tell me a meeting. I'll be sitting in the dark.
Okay.
So the clay sample. So we received
Clay
the
samples.
clay sample results back from Municipality on the Elk Ranch sampling. So 6 sample sites were tested. Only one of the sites had clay. So that one was selected for further testing. It doesn't actually pass all the criteria. It is borderline. So what they're requesting or what they're suggesting is to send it for further testing. So for hydraulic testing, which is expensive. It's about $2,500 for one sample. And then if that one comes back as passing, they'll be able to see what the quality is of the clay in the sample itself. Then they would want to do more exploratory testing to see how much clay is actually there for us to harvest. So what I'm asking is to get permission to do the hydraulic testing on that sample.
I don't know if there'd be enough area there to even go forward with.
It's only one spot out of 6 samples.
It's just, we're going south into that bank,
Yeah.
and the boundary's not too far. Well, it's a little ways away, but
Way, but
Not very far according to that map.
no.
we're not gonna add a bunch of clay there.
No.
I don't think we'll get enough quality. We make the quality, not enough quantity.
Exactly.
At least that's the way I look at it.
That's how I look at it. I just seen it on what I seen on here.
Yeah, well, you know the area better than anybody.
As
so-
soon as you get up to the gates, that's all it comes in your gravelly stuff,
Yeah.
right? So it's just that little,
And you go farther south, I think you get into muck and swampy crap from when I walk through the bush.
yeah.
So that money could be better spent finding clay somewhere else.
I think so.
Exactly.
I think so.
Yeah.
3 miles west, 1 mile north.
Yeah. Well, we can start looking there too. Gotta sample it somewhere.
Gotta find clay someplace.
Does that mean you'll be leaving more meetings that we're on? You'll be sending out of the meetings on us, that kind of in that area? But
No, just
if it's there,
no, but no, because I don't think there's enough area there.
I know
no,
that.
it's a waste of this $2,500.
Yeah.
I've seen that area tag there.
Yeah, no.
See the money?
save the money,
Okay.
and put it towards better
Yeah,
use.
exactly.
That's just only my opinion.
Me too.
But if you know of a spot without any, seriously, that might have some play,
I just said.
Yeah, no,
why don't we test it?
That's what I say, we should be
Go.
testing it.
Drill one hole, where you just,
Punch a hole, find out.
yeah, that's, because we need it. I mean, not just for this project, we need it for many, because even the end caps
Should
some
be
of our
needed
culverts.
for a lot of projects, I think.
And I just,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just think we should put a notice out, asking if anybody's got some, because then we can test this area and also other ones,
Yeah.
that way we're being fair.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
And then also, there might be some surprises out there, like you might not, I mean, I don't know anything about playground here, but.
No, but you're right, because we guys that have got it, or think they got it, they could get it tested for us and then buy it from them, because it would be in their best interest.
Get a few tested.
Yeah, Ron, you could get it tested for us. That's all you make out. But it should, you're right, though, it should be brought out.
And I would think that we would probably pay for the testing though, wouldn't we? Because I don't think anybody, an individual wouldn't know how to even start.
Yeah, I know.
If you're selling me a product, I want you to test it.
Yeah.
But would we
Could encourage it.
I guess maybe we should probably winnow it out too. Like somebody might, like if I had some clay in my land,
Yeah.
I wouldn't begin to know if it was sufficient. Like I would want somebody like you to come and say, yeah, it's worth testing, it's not worth
Or
testing.
not, yeah, good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Like, because there'll be some people out there that wouldn't know. Like, I mean, nobody here knew what the quality of clay was required.
Yeah.
So there'd be a lot of guys that won't test it because, I don't know.
But everybody with clay will tell you, oh, yeah, mine's the best.
Well, that's the thing, right?
You know?
Yeah, it's a tough spot.
Yeah.
Where do you buy clay?
From a clay store.
Like, instead of testing all over the world, why don't we just find out how much it costs to buy clay from somebody?
Well, there is one clay location I know that Russell's getting it from, and of course you have some too, but other than that, that's the only thing I know in Rosedale. And I think eventually the part where,
There's lots of play around
Yeah.
in those hills.
Lots.
Tons. Providing somebody wants to.
So we're part of the tender then,
Yeah.
our request for interest.
Because you start getting.
If you have 1 million meters of clay that meets this standard, what's your price?
Because
Obviously
this costs
very
$6,000 for this analysis.
Pardon me?
$6,000.
So-
So I don't want to keep venturing down that path.
No, better write tender for somebody with clay, and let them come to us,
Yeah.
maybe.
Because it could be money for somebody that has a clay deposit to spend that $6,000 and say, yes, this is what it is. We could even, I'm sure the problem is maybe we have a cost sharing.
Process, yeah.
well, the thing is, it wouldn't cost you well, I guess you'd have to do this, way test it first and then go to the next step probably. So that would say plus 2,500, you'd be $8,500.
Well, it's,
Or
yeah.
possibly up to 8,500.
Yeah, well, the clay parts of that has got a value outside of this, we're talking about landfill clay right now, but I mean, we're talking about the DFA sites want to be clay capped culvert stuff too, so the person or persons that show up with this clay are gonna end up with a market they maybe never had before, too. So it's good on their side to track it down maybe.
And sometimes in the mineral extraction world, people that have the deposit don't pay anything. They
Yeah.
just charge you to come and you decide if you want it.
Right.
You decide to test it.
Better go tomorrow and take that whole little over to the east and do some digging.
Yeah. Some
There's clay there too.
clay right there.
So
Whatever.
the suggested resolution is, whereas Burns Mundell conducted sampling at Southwest 14, 17, 16 West to determine potential clay material sites, and whereas the application of the sample from test pit 6 indicated a high clay content with no gravel. As such, this sample was chosen for further testing, and whereas the results were inconclusive on whether the in-situ clay is suitable as a liner, in order to confirm or deny the suitability of the marginal sample, a hydraulic conductivity test will need to be conducted. And then we're going to resolve that the Council of the RM does not agree to proceed with further testing. At this time.
Move.
Jeff will move it.
Unless you want to reread it.
Second?
Because we own, right?
Yeah,
The
but
rest
it's
is
too
on.
bad. Yeah, we don't
So
have
it's, yeah,
that.
it is frustrating. This, wonder what else they found.
Well, you say it's too
Good
bad. Yeah.
answer.
Nothing.
Gravel,
Lots of
All
gravel.
agree?
gravel and sand.
Carried.
But lots of gravel. That's what you need.
Well, they have, all 6 samples are included
Yeah.
in the report.
But
And
it's
it's
pretty small.
list of this.
Pretty small,
I've
I mean,
seen
there
it.
are some
I've seen
good
it.
ones, but it looks what I
I've seen, but it
thought.
would have been nice to visually see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seeing it, like they wrote us, it means nothing.
Same. Always.
Yeah.
And what you
So
want,
we
yeah, taste it,
think
smell
going
it.
forward to advertise clay, we're just gonna put that on our website, or how do we want to push that?
I think I have to put it on Merck's.
Marcus, yeah, fair play,
Yeah.
and in the local paper.
For our own site, right?
Yeah, it's $400 to put it in the paper.
Is it?
I just put it on the website and word of mouth. For
I
now.
would
Easy.
prefer
Easy.
not.
Twice as much money as you put.
Well, we want a local and all that.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to start trucking it from
No.
anywhere.
Close, we should say,
Closer the better.
yeah, to Kelly, to be honest, because that's where the landfill's gonna go, right?
Right.
So I'm not trying.
No,
Privy to
no,
that
no,
area.
yeah, yeah.
Word of mouth, start talking to people, I guess. How else do we do?
See where we go from there.
Yeah.
I can tender it on
On our
Merck's.
website or whatever.
I can put it on the RM site, I can put it on Facebook.
Just looking for.
Well, if we put a tender out there, not saying we have to accept it, right?
No.
Yeah, so why not? Does not hurt nothing, doesn't cost nothing.
We'll let them out.
Well, we already said for doing another cell, it's 6,000 yards, if I remember correctly.
Sounds right.
I think that's what we said.
And then the culverting stuff too, I mean,
Well, actually, that, we already passed a resolution last year on that for the EMO sites.
Oh, did we?
Yes, we did. And that was for 1,500 yards.
15 or 18.
Yeah, and the tender was accepted from, that was last year's tender, was accepted from Mr. Renkel. We do have that resolution.
Did we buy it?
We didn't buy, because we didn't do anything on EMO last
Okay.
year.
we spoke, but
We
we have
have
to
to do
play
it this year, for sure, because we have the extension in about August.
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
okay.
So,
This time
What-
we really need it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We really.
Okay, next. Can we move on next?
Yes, I haven't written resolutions for any of these, because I'm not sure what you guys want to do.
Seasonal mowing.
So in the attachment, there's a cost analysis for seasonal mowing, and I think what we need to determine is, are we fixing our existing mower and proceeding? Or should I start communication with the union on that position? And-
So this is just on our own mower, right? That we have now?
yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you don't mind, I'll get my soapbox here for a minute. Personally, I'm thinking we're better off to repair what we have and do it for the season. And then that way we can control the mowing for second pass, whatever, because if we contract it out, we're gonna get one pass, and the grass in Ward 4 is hardly coming on the ground, and the grass in Ward 1 is already grown. So at least with this, I think we can have more, get a better job throughout the RM, and I say this cautiously, maybe a little extra training would help do a better job going forward. That's my soapbox stance. Whether you guys agree or not agree to that, so that's,
I think we're tied to the mower position for now. We can't contract it out because the union agreement shows us having a mower operator.
Right.
And we can't change that position without negotiating with the union, so we might as well wait till that time comes around. So running the year with what we got is probably.
As long as we don't lay them off and keep them busy,
It doesn't
you
matter.
don't have to have them cutting grass.
Oh, okay.
but then what is he gonna do?
He's laid off.
No, but I
He's
know.
been laid off since December.
No, but his position is there.
His position is
It
there.
starts again, is what Robert's
Yeah.
referring to, I think, and I didn't know that we could do that, but.
Yeah, as long as
But what is he
you're
gonna
not
do? Is he
laying
gonna
the
do?
person off.
You
Yeah,
can't put him on a dozer, you can't put him on a backhoe.
either.
Like when he's at his game, he does a very nice job.
We can't discuss this.
Nobody's fussing.
Okay. Can't
We
discuss
can't
this
discuss
outside the
this.
camera.
Yeah.
We'd have to go in the camera for that.
Yeah.
But for the actual mowing and whatnot, like repairing what we own.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Keep it
Yeah,
repaired
and
right now.
a couple tweaking we can do, we tweaked a bunch of stuff last year, there's one little thing we can tweak on again, and I think we got a pretty good machine going forward, or a better machine than we ever had. put it that way, so.
Maybe we should consider not starting cutting grass so early and doing one pass. That's what used to happen in the RM years back.
Years back, yeah.
Yeah, one pass.
Like later on in the year, Robert, you mean, or what?
Later on in the year, and that's it, you give her one.
One go.
I remember Barry.
Because I know our mowing's costing us a ton of money.
Remember Barry used to start down the line, go all the way, and then he'd come back down the line and start again. But he would work down the low area and then he'd go up your area and the last, do all that, and then he'd come back down and start all again.
Kind of like the growing season part, yeah.
Yeah, so then this way the parts that grew fast, like Ron's, they
Oh,
grow
it's always
fast.
later.
It's always later, so.
Yeah.
I remember Barry used to do that all the time. He kind of laid it a low ground.
I honestly think,
higher.
I honestly think we just gotta keep our mower, fix it up, and keep going forward, and
Yeah,
away we go.
I think that's good enough for me for now, for this year. Let's do some more discussion going forward.
Yeah.
Because the new public work foreman is gonna have, like, you don't wanna box the new person in too much either, right?
No.
So if you do a placeholder for them, and then when that person has a year, unless it's got an extra year, there'll be a lot more long-term planning done by them.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it gives a little more of a window, right?
Yeah.
Our budget too.
I related to.
Yeah, that's the other side of it.
Because hopefully these estimates are high and we can squeak in below that number. And oh, happy day.
So my draft motion is, whereas preliminary costs to repair the mower have been presented, therefore be it resolved that the council agree to repair the mower.
Nice report.
Like $6,000 was it about? I think based on the.
Yeah, that was, yeah, and that was probably had some blades in there, a few extra odds, and we've got the people that can do it.
What's the name of the salesman from the office that try and keep it for 2 more years, just when you trade it on your
Depreciation value.
That's a value. So
You're there?
Yeah, yeah.
So let's try and make it last, I guess. Squeeze it out anyways.
Okay. Do you want to read this again or did everybody hear?
We're good.
We're good.
Do I have a mover?
I'll do it.
Good. Jeff Henderson seconds. All agree? Carried. Ford truck.
So the Ford truck, I think, has been problematic for us. And we would like to sell it and possibly buy something else. I don't know, Dave, if you want to expand on that.
You just want to tender that out, I guess, as we need to tender it. Just tender it accordingly and accept whatever we need to get for tenders. And our tender process is what we did last time on the lawnmower, and it was on the website and all that. What else was it? Probably it was in the paper, not in the paper?
I don't remember being in the paper.
So,
I don't know how you guys did that one.
I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah, the tender out, whatever.
tender it.
I think it was just tendered. I don't remember having anything put in the paper.
Tendered as according accordingly.
as normal practices.
Yeah, whatever normal.
Then I think there was,
Needs help.
didn't they have something hanging here at the
Yeah.
bulletin board?
Could have been.
Probably is, yeah.
Bulletin board, website, Facebook, whatever works.
On Facebook, yeah.
Yeah.
Put it on, yeah, wherever.
Anything on our RM account, I guess.
I should have bought a computer, so.
Yeah, sometimes there's a device in.
Should we put both these on the same?
Oh, yeah, do
Yeah,
you want
might
to talk
put
about
that
the next
next
one?
one.
The
Let's
bush
do the
hog?
brush hog, same thing.
Push
you know.
it.
Same thing.
Put a slash push hog thing.
Curls there.
You know what the next one?
Right here.
Tractor?
Yeah, what's that?
Hey, what's it?
Yeah.
Well,
Put steady bush hog?
do we want to make some money out of it, or do we want to keep it?
It hasn't been used for what, 2 years probably?
Well, we used it last year when the wind was broke out of that one tractor
Right,
for
right.
2 or 3 days, but it's sat there, so.
But it's sat
But it's depreciating every day. We're not
Yeah,
getting
and
that.
it's getting a little tired looking, so if there's some value to it, so that's up to you guys to decide if you want to keep it around or.
How much value is in it?
I think you would probably, if I would be very hesitant, you would get 35 to 40, I would think, out of it. I would think. Because they are very
What's the
popular.
unit there?
MX 150.
No, 340,000.
100,000?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I was,
Actually,
because I
that-
know what, one with the same amount of hours in with the loader is they sell for 60,000 all day long with the loader on it.
Am I confused?
Word when you
Yeah.
go over
That's
there.
right.
Are we talking about this thing?
Yeah.
No, No, we moved down on the tractor, sorry.
There is, sorry about that.
Calm down.
Confusion,
Yeah, calm down.
There's no
tractor.
pictures on the tractors, Jeff, because I didn't do that, because I just didn't know where councils wanted to go with that, so I didn't take any pictures.
The MX 150 tractor and the bush hogger set.
Two separate, yeah.
I knew more stuff over there.
That's the only reason.
We get 35 feet for that
So that's the
board.
bush hog going, you might as well. Even though we do tender, if we don't get what we think is fair value, it does say we have to accept it.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that true?
Yeah. Is it true?
No, just, we don't have to send voice again, though. We're boxing a new public works foreman into a decision that he didn't have a part of. And I don't know if that matters.
Well, I think in this case, it matters not very much because that tractor is depreciating and we're losing. And the mower is the same, right? The mower-
Yeah.
that's much.
Yeah, the longer you keep the
You got
less
that
value.
money tied up in it, I think it should go.
It might benefit,
Yeah.
it might benefit the new farmer because he'll get a.
Tires are shot on it, there's
Because
some other-
that money can be put into a utility truck for him.
You can't face
That's my thinking.
Okay, let's pass this resolution on the mower first.
Okay, wait, are we doing the truck, the bush hog, and the MX tractor all on one?
All in one?
Yes. And
Resolution.
is there one piece of equipment we tendered last year that we didn't get any tenders on? Might as well go on this too. We sold the lawn, was it the right-on lawnmower?
And the trailer both got tenders on both.
But did we get the both gone or we still got the?
Both gone.
Oh, they're gone, okay. Oh, I thought we had one left over, okay.
Both gone.
Okay.
Okay, whereas the council of the Arm of Rosedale has discussed putting the 2008 Ford truck and MX 150 tractor and bush hog mower up for tender, therefore be it resolved that the 2008 truck and an MX 150 tractor and bush hog mower be put up for tender. Is that what you guys want to do?
No sense sitting around there.
No, depreciating.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rewrite that after you do whatever you do. Or I can do it right now, you guys can continue on.
Used to sit
Whatever.
inside.
I don't know if there's any.
What's inside?
Community reports,
We
I'd
got
like to
budget, we
see
got cleaned up pretty good.
RCMP attachment statements. Any questions on it?
Didn't catch many bad guys.
No.
I'm sorry, but I have to talk about that one fellow that's changing his tire. Did you read that article?
I got caught with all that stuff in his car?
Where was that?
It was on Highway 5, just
St. Rose, close to St.
Yeah,
Rose.
Oh, yeah, that.
changing his tire, guy stopped to help him and it turned into a drug house. Sorry, I just, like, not his day.
Not his day, you know?
Yeah, that's right. That was pretty funny.
Okay, the Neepawa area district, or planning district meeting. Everybody looked over that.
Yeah.
So you did enter into the service agreement with the Midwest Planning District?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be interesting.
And then for the CEO report, for those of you that weren't here at the annual meeting, we have hired a public worker who will start on Monday. I'm just asking, because at the AMN meeting, they were very clear that council should only be communicating to the CAO, so I'm going to ask that people don't communicate to the, not people, council doesn't communicate to the foreman, and if we are communicating to public works staff via text or call or whatever, that we stop doing that, so the foreman has the best chance to make it as a foreman and doesn't quit on us right away. So I'll ask that if you guys see folks out working or you see the foreman, that you don't go and provide direction to them. We don't have conversations about work with them. We just let them do what they need to do. And then if you need something done or you see them, just call the office or put in a work request form, and then we'll send it out to the guys at Public Works. We've applied for the Green Team grant, so I asked for 2 positions full-time and then 1 part-time for the guy that cuts the grass.
Green team people?
Green team.
Yeah, Green Team. So 2 full-time and 1 We tender it out. He does it for $400 a time or something, one of the cemetery guys.
Oh, that's Bernie Cemetery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked for him to be covered. And then, of course, we've been having issues again with Ashley Kane's dogs. Another letter went out yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought, I never heard nothing myself, so.
They're running again, and they're running at night
Oh, go ahead.
into folks' yards, so those folks don't really want his dogs barking in their yard at nighttime when they're trying to sleep. So letters went there. We did receive our grant extension from ICIP, so we're extended until March 25, 2025. So that's excellent. Tax sales, of course, are all organized. 21 are in tax sale currently. And that's probably the highlights of everything. Oh yeah, and we closed the health and safety orders as well. Because we had
6 orders were complied with,
6.
everything, they were good with it, so whatever we did, they were happy. So. Perfect. Okay.
Oh, and all the documents have went to the auditor as well for the interim audit. So more documents were requested, probably 38 additional items, and she's got everything, so we're just waiting on the adjustments that need to take place.
Okay, so this resolution on tenders, we're good on that? Okay, kind of a mover then. Seconder? Or Scott? All in favor? Carried. Okay. Open discussion.
We have to resolve the
Oh, sorry.
planning and our
Oh,
safety.
sorry.
But does anyone have any questions, sorry, on any of those reports? I hope not on any fire and planning, because I will review it thoroughly.
Got a question? Sure. Be resolved that the list of community reports have been received as information, 2023 December district, Neepawa area planning district meeting minutes, 2023 December RCMP stat, 2024 January RCMP stat, 24 February CEO's report. Do I have a mover? Carlos, second. Dave Tedder. All in favor? Carried.
So do you want this table for next month?
Yes, yes, please. Okay. Open discussion.
Okay, first of the meeting, I just want clarification on this public work request form that I sent. I don't know if you got that, Carl? It wasn't on your thing, so.
Oh, no, I didn't.
So I just want to go feedback, Carl, want to continue this stuff, or send it forward to be done unless we're not on the same page, if you want to go. And some of it's, you know, municipal things that gravel the public work yard, well, that's got to be done at graveling time, so I don't think that's a big thing, so that's a yay if you want to call it. So you just tell me when I'm going down the list, what is a yay or nay, I guess, and we'll put that forward.
No, it's just that, that's the paper we thought, probably okay. I'm just cheating, I get mine to Carl, so I'm cheating on it.
Just so I'm clear, you're acting right now as the public works fund?
Yes.
And you're requesting this money be spent out of the current budget?
2024. 2024.
So we haven't done the financial plan for 2024 yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I mean, the only reason doing this, Jeff, is so we start getting the ball rolling on it, if we agree to it, as compared to all of a sudden passing our budget and doing it in July when the season is well underway. That's the reason behind it. So that
Slow
makes sense.
season, right?
The resolution in January that we passed for interim budget will cover this.
Yeah. So shouldn't this just be, because we already passed a resolution authorizing that interim budget, like isn't this the public works forum talking to the CAO spending the money?
We wanted you all to be aware, so there was no
So there was no
backlash
surprises.
and no surprises moving forward. So when we have the 2024 actual final budget and the numbers are what the numbers are, we want you to be informed that this is a portion of those numbers.
So because we're not supposed to be talking to the public works foreman directly, we're supposed to be talking to you. And so this is you asking us to approve these. But
Yeah, just to make you aware that this money is being spent and it's gonna be a 2024 budget, and if you don't want it in there, because you guys all approved the budget, that we can remove some of the items. I don't approve the budget. I will present the budget to you and you guys will approve, so these items will be part of that envelope.
so because I've got no frame of reference at all for this stuff, like I'm just
Yeah.
listening.
No, I know.
But it's nice to get started with some of that wish list stuff ahead of time, and you get,
Yeah.
we know. Because we need, I think we need all those things actually, I think. Except I think you get away with 5 loads of gravel, Dave, not 6.
I was gonna say that
Yeah, better than that, but.
It was a simple yes or no, Earl.
And you guys tender gravel March? When does gravel tender usually go out?
You can do it anytime
You
now.
can do it right now.
Anytime?
Yeah,
Do it
yeah.
right now.
There's guys doing it right now.
Yeah.
Other than we don't know how the yard is yet, because we haven't done our maps like we usually do. Or that doesn't matter.
This year, who knows what it's gonna be.
Well, okay.
Right? The way the roads are.
Yeah. The roads are.
Did you ever hear, get a reply from?
North Cyprus?
Yeah.
They also haven't paid their bill.
Oh, really?
I reached out to, well, they don't have, they have a, I don't know if Teresa took the CAO job or not.
It says on the bottom of that job description, it did.
She took it?
She's CAO, not acting. It says
Okay, she's
CAO.
CAO now, so I had asked, like the mowing invoice that we had
Yeah.
received, I had asked for a document, an agreement, something, because I can't find an agreement with them, saying that we would pay those charges, like that we would share or we would do something. I haven't got a response, I can follow up on that, is that item. And then I did send all the information to her that I had been corresponding with Trish, because Trish and I were back and forth on that. So I have sent that all to her, and I also sent her the tender agreement and the award of the bid, so she could use her gas tax for her portion. So I think I've sent everything to them that I can send.
Just Jack's a little slow coming
Yeah.
back. And what about Blue Star? Did they ever get back to you about the,
No.
I'm gonna phone,
I would assume maybe they don't have it, that's why they're not replying.
well, that was part of the agreement, that they were to fly those.
The drone?
Yeah.
Drones over piles.
So when we
That's the
hired
only way
them,
we
did we
can-
give them, like when we awarded Rumpel, I gave him a document and he signed it saying these are the things that I'm gonna satisfy. Did we do that with Blue Star? Do you guys know?
Probably more of a handshake. Or
I think it was-
verbal,
yeah.
might be more than
So many yards, and then we added a bit, and.
Yeah.
Just because I don't wanna start searching for a document that doesn't exist.
No, it probably doesn't.
No, I don't blame you, but that's the only way of knowing what we got in that crushed pile.
Yeah.
And we have to pay our owner of that pit.
That, oh yeah, per yard, per that.
Yeah. Because there's no way you can keep track of the trucks that,
No.
you know, you think that, oh yeah, they're gonna haul so many yards. Well, then something else comes up and somebody else needs some, and for the fairway, and they agreed that's how they liked it done.
Well, we do know what Blue Star charged us for crushing. I'm assuming we should be paying the pit owner the amount that got charged to crush per yard.
Yes.
Or however many yards we paid to get crushed is what we pay the pit owner.
Did
No.
we pay half last year or no? In last year's business? I thought so. So now we owe this half, this year's.
This year, yeah.
But as they're crushing it, they should know the yardage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to fly it.
No,
No.
should be, we should be forthright with that right at the,
You
as we
should
find
know
out.
coming on the rush.
And are they gonna invoice us, or we need
No.
to tell them, we just pay them?
Yep, that's how, when they were agreed to the old terms, they didn't see any change in price late last summer. So maybe this year it'll be different.
Do we
Probably
pay-
more this year, I would imagine.
I thought he droned that, excuse me, that one at Fisher Pit. I thought he droned it before you guys started, before we started that project of yours, or that boundary road. Because he was gonna do the other one too, but he never had a chance. He never did.
To Blue Star?
Yeah, they never sent.
I've sent an email to him to ask him specifically
Really?
for that, nothing has come
Nothing.
back to us, so I don't know.
Yeah, so we
I'm sure he did.
Does anybody ever respond to you?
No, no. I send a lot of,
Yeah, send the emails, nobody
I do a
calls.
lot of work and
Well, that's just that,
Up his office
said-
there,
Yeah.
seems to answer you.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him lately, but I can reach out to him, yeah.
I can follow up again.
So what's our interest rate on unpaid bills with neighboring items?
I don't think we charge on AR actually.
What would we have on
We
ground?
only charge on utilities and tax.
Okay.
I don't know why. So I guess if we need gravel tenders, I will need to know what you guys want for gravel, or do you want me to just use last year's numbers?
It's probably works.
Just use last year? Because then you can put it wherever you like, but
Live with,
those
yeah.
values
Live
would be
within the values,
sufficient.
yeah.
And then how would you like to budget for the landfills? Because they need, like, Keller needs gravel regularly.
Hmm.
So do we have that specific to landfill?
Well, I guess, I would like to see some of the gravel that comes to the Keller landfill, or maybe both, but Keller landfill for sure be a little coarser than we're normally getting. Because we're putting clay on top of our garbage, which is a good idea and what we're asked to do. And we're putting very nice crushed gravel on top of that. But it's not making a good base. It could be not, I don't mean, maybe not pit run necessarily, but
Something
a
bigger.
little coarser gravel because it's lovely gravel for a road, but in the muck, it's just disappears.
Disappears,
Yeah,
yeah.
it needs to be,
Waste.
it's kind of,
Kind of
and crushing is a
waste.
waste for that. I mean, I don't want anybody getting their car damaged going to the landfill, but I mean, on the same side, I don't want to be stuck there.
Right.
So, you know, that's, whatever we're gonna tender for the landfill, we should make it a little coarser
They're
gravel.
doing estimate there.
There you
Whatever that means.
That's what they're putting on their roads.
Well, that's what do you call them, round portage?
Just talking around there.
Tenders going out, they're not using those. Where we got, the last time we got crushed with 5/8?
Yeah.
I think that should be a no-no.
It's gotta be bigger.
It's gotta be bigger stuff. They're doing inch and a quarter, inch and a half.
I got a couple of roads I'd like to put straight rock on, actually, yeah.
Over Esteban and around Benson and all that, brother-in-laws, they're an inch and a half, inch and three quarter.
This little
All their
stone.
rock is.
It's getting finer all the time.
Yeah,
or gravel.
this is why our roads are turning out the way they are.
Too much fine stuff.
Too much fines.
Need more course now.
We got no snow.
Well, honestly,
I don't know, maybe we should
monitoring.
do it every other year or something, maybe
Yeah.
something a little bigger, you know, just to kind of blend some rock in with
Quarter or
it.
1 inch?
Well, I'm thinking go back to 3/4.
At least
Three-quarter, I agree.
We used to do 3/4.
Yeah, well, even to monitor the product we're getting off the conveyor. Like Public Works, I mean, to do the monitoring, of course, but it's, I don't know that every bucket is the same as the bucket before.
Oh, they definitely.
You know what I mean? That's-
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the rock count is going down, and I mean, it's gotta be monitored.
I know that Raptor said he weighs all his, but
That's
I don't know how.
that's a loader scale.
Yeah, it's
That's
a loader
certified-
scale.
Certified scale. That's just a.
But it
just
doesn't
kinda
give
gives you
you,
a
but it doesn't give you the
ballpark.
rock content, is what I mean. I mean, the finished product, like, say what you put your hand in, or in your hand.
Yeah.
If the rocks aren't 3/4 or so, we're not getting what we're asking.
No, true.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Probably be 1 inch.
I got a question, because I don't know enough about this gravel stuff, but when we do this, I've heard of other RMs, like they get their gravel spread out by a ton, not by a yard anymore.
They weigh it all.
They weigh it all. Because they figure that the people that tender it are stealing gravel on them. And this way it just makes it honest that that road is getting the gravel it's supposed to be getting.
I would second that motion.
How accurate is the weighing?
I don't know, Robert, I don't know enough
It
about
must
it.
vary a lot depending on the rain and.
Well,
Like your moisture, exactly.
a wet yard is different than a dry yard, weight
Yeah,
wise.
definitely.
I just
Mhm.
Yeah.
just
I know
shot it out
highways-
there, because I heard it from another RN that changed it to ton, and I couldn't have talked to him because I really don't know enough about it, so.
Yeah. Highways usually when they ever do a contract there, well, they did it last year, they weighed all that gravel at the coins.
Did they really?
It's all weed, yeah.
But yeah, I'd be concerned about the moisture content, because could be a lot of moisture in a yard of gravel.
Okay, yeah, no.
That's the only bad thing, eh? You know, you get 3 gallons of water in there, well, you know what?
Yeah, no.
20 pounds, right?
It's a little different with the highways though, because they're doing, all their stuff gets tested when it goes down. It's all getting tested, so they know the moisture content in it, so they can kind of go by that, but we don't do that, like,
No.
we kind of hard that way.
Well,
I know,
yeah.
like,
No, it's just one.
some guys are saying they go by cubic meter or whatever.
Right.
Just give it.
Well, it needs a rain overnight would make a big difference in a mile.
Instead
Yeah,
of going by
oh,
the
absolutely.
by the cubic meter.
Well, what I can see from the road gravel that we have right now is coarser would be great and less clay would be better. We got enough clay on our roads right now. To be honest, I don't know how we control that part of it. Because it's been there years ago and it's not time to get less clay, I guess, mixed in with it because it gets too slimy.
Well, I think the coarser gravel would help with the clay content too. It would, without touching the clay content, the coarser gravel would also benefit.
Take some of that up.
Yeah, they gobble it up, it sticks. It's gotta be.
Like what we tried to do a few years ago, but it didn't pan out. We're gonna mix.
Mix them off.
But actually, you know what, I did a bit of a project this year, I did road 101 because that's what I had. And of course, we always had the clay base, so I know I got the heat gravel this year.
Well, we did
It's
one year.
just- I hate to say that, Robert, but it did work.
We did that 1 year old like
It
that.
made a big difference. Yeah.
That's how I'm doing
And
on
I
my
needed, we
roads.
needed the gravel done anyways, so
Yeah.
that's why last year I did 1,000 yards from the Eden pit and did certain areas, 'cause I knew there were certain areas that were greasier than others.
Mhm.
There is a big benefit to it, and we don't want to deplete one pile over the other piles.
No, no.
It was a no-cost project, if you want to call it.
Same.
It was a very positive result.
That's what I was doing with my roads. I was doing 1 year would be half of Eden, the other half would be Fisher. Then I'd flip flop the next year
Yeah.
and it started to blend really nice together and it was dry and it was good. So it just blended. One's really good for dryness, the other one's really good for hard.
I have a question about process. I have a ratepayer that would like a culvert put in, it's our ditch, I guess. And so he can cross from his farm to his farm, I guess, over our municipal road, and keeps him out of the town of Kelwood with his livestock manure and stuff, which would be handy for all the ratepayers in Kelwood. I'm wondering, as a council, what's the process to get that culvert installed?
That's an excellent question. We'd have to
How
take a
many
look
other
at
accesses
it.
is he on that border?
Well, none to that side.
Well, then he deserves one.
Because, and the favor he's doing for the community of Kelwood is he's, right now presently they haul their manure one way out and then they come in the other way so they don't meet on the road with the spreaders and whatever have you that hauls manure. And that he'd like to go across this field, over the road, into the field. Which I mean, honestly, I don't think there'd be one person in Kelwood complain about the culvert, but I have to know the process. Because,
I think
it's where-
generally if they already have approaches and things like
Yeah.
that, it would be the property owner, but if they don't have an approach.
Well, they have an
then
approach on the west
generally
side,
we would
but this
do it.
approach would be on it's on the landfill road. I mean,
It's on the landfill.
whatever, I
I
don't know
would
the
say
number.
he's entitled to.
It's the one, it's slightly north of the landfill itself. And it would just literally put them up over the road, which would be,
We should look at the details before we say we're gonna just give it away.
no, I'm okay with that, but I just want to know the process, because it means going forward, we're doing things slightly different than before, so I'd like to get him this culvert, but I'm not gonna.
But wouldn't that be just a ward, like in her CAO report, like everything should be done on a ward work request form?
And I would do that if that's the process, but
And
even
then,
that's just, yep,
and then she would put that against the policy and then look at the map, and then at the next meeting, she would say,
we're doing
the
this.
CAO would say, that this was the request, this is the area, here's the map, kind of like the NAPD does now. Like, here's your information, yes or no?
Okay.
I think that's what it should be, but I don't know.
Like be neat.
Well, it's pretty neat ditch there, probably 36 inches or whatever, they don't do an inch anymore either. Yeah, big culvert, and then it's a bit of fill, of course, whatever.
That's all the water coming down that way.
Yeah, and it's amazing if you stayed, yeah, it's amazing how much water travels there in springtime, so. But it would need somebody to measure it. I mean, I can measure the ditch, I can stand and do a tape measure thing, I want to know the process, so.
Yep.
Before I start, because they would like it for this year, and I think I would like it for this year because the season's coming. So,
Yeah, if we put a.
but I can
request
start with
in,
Jeff's
take a
idea,
look.
if that helps
Well,
out.
then we can get the details from you, at least we can gather what they already have, because generally when we're doing subdivisions or we're doing whatever, it's up to the homeowner. So if we do the subdivision and they want another access, the owner, it's in the development agreement that the owner pays for it. So that's why I think we need to look at what the
Let's say-
situation is in the
okay.
scenario and where they want it,
Okay,
to decide if we will or we won't.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I know like we've sold culverts to other people that wanted to do it. We sold them at our cost.
And they did
And they did
the work themselves.
They did the work
yeah.
themselves, so. They bought the culvert at our cost instead of buying it from the architect and paying the extra big money. So I know I've done that for the colony a couple times, just sold
We've
culverts.
sold culverts.
Okay.
Is
Who else?
that,
Yeah.
is that, is that an official policy? Because when I talked to Kara 3 years ago about buying some geotech, she had said that the RM, if they have it, they'll supply it to the ratepayer at their cost. And was that just kind of an informal thing, or was that an actual RM policy?
Well,
It's not clearly defined.
Not defined, no.
It's not clearly defined.
I think we just done it for ratepayers and our RM just to help. You know, we buy it at this cost, we sell it to them at that cost. We don't try to make money off of it.
You cover a cost.
Yeah.
That's a win, right?
Yeah.
As long as we don't have to do the work and they're willing to do
Yeah.
it.
Because there's a cost of that too, right?
I think we had like 10% or something.
I like the way you think.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we
I
did
would
the
have
past.
to look
I thought
back.
that's what it was.
Well, we should for administrative,
Yeah.
gathering
To cover
it, dropping
everything.
it.
Exactly.
That's not a whole bunch of money.
No. I have to go, I have an appointment at 3, so.
Carl isn't going to go to the meeting anyways.
Is he?
Yeah, he's chomping at the bit. He's chomping.
You guys shut up.
Now we adjourn the regular meeting at
3:54.
and meet again, our regular meeting on March 8th, 2024 at 10 a.m. Do I have a mover?
Ron, you should be moving this one.
Almost like.
Ron Dawson, second. All in favor? Carried.